What the fuck is up, everybody? It's John Escudero. I'm here with my boy Greg Thomas, and this is
Yo,
Dershi
yo.
Radio, a podcast about professional wrestling.
Yes.
we talked the biggest news of the week, and we release it out in the morning. But we now decide to go live in the middle of the night because why not? It doesn't actually change anything about our recording method, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool not to do it alone. And other people are watching. Hello, everyone who's up this late. How y'all doing?
we are here to announce that we are also officially DLC for the WWE 2K24 game because
Oh
apparently
yeah, yeah,
anyone with a talk
absolutely,
show can be DLC now.
absolutely. You got the whole talk show DLC pack where you get Jay Leno and Jon Stewart and Stephen
Jay Leno
Colbert.
technically
And
Jay Leno technically had a match. He counts more than the rest of them.
I was trying to do wrestling ones. I said Jay Leno. I said Jon Stewart. I was trying to think of somebody else.
Well, those,
You could
I
put
guess
Richard Belzer. He got choked. He got the Hulk Hogan host.
I was gonna say I guess
Uh,
Jon Stewart did a spot. He didn't have a match, but yeah.
it was cool, but
I don't know. Oh God, you just reminded me because I just watched that show the other day. Um, so think about me. I'll sometimes find fun things to do to do countdowns. I've been watching all the matches that are on the supposed Road to WrestleMania showcase menu, let's say. Even some of the matches that might not actually make it. But um
who ended the
after
streak, Greg? Who ended the Undertaker
uh
streak? I need to know. I
uh
can't seem to find
Bork
this
laser
information on the map.
Bork laser.
There was a planet here, but it's missing.
Uh,
I'm gonna have to find a
he has gone the way
1950s
of
themed diner, and
he's gone the way of Pluto. Um uh, yeah. So after I had ended WrestleMania 30, and I found myself wanting to watch the rematch they had later on that I am a big fan of. I actually think the SummerSlam match that Undertaker and Brock Lesnar have is fantastic. As I'm going through that show, I remember that a match I'm also a massive fan of, John Cena versus Seth Rollins, is on the same card.
It's a great match. I was
And
there for that.
both matches are annoyingly bothered by these stupid finishes.
I remember being so excited that Seth Rollins won because I thought there was no chance. Like I didn't think I was still
Sure,
in the
that
world
part's
where John
great.
Cena wins
LOL,
things.
Cena wins.
So yeah, so like
Yeah,
I was just like, you know what? By any means necessary, get it done.
sure. It's
Thank
just
you,
oh
John
god,
Stewart.
the John Stewart thing is so stupid, and then like he doesn't know how to like do the spot very well.
He does mess it up, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. Like he doesn't know how to like even though even though to anyone with a trained eye, it's always really obvious. Like he doesn't know how to do the like I'm gonna hit this guy, but I'm actually going to hit that one.
Yeah. I mean, here's
Uh,
the thing. It was
but also, why is John Stewart
2015
involved in the
too.
finish? It's so dumb.
I was gonna say it was 2015 too, so like there was a lot more of those WWE shenanigans at the time. So
Yeah,
like it was more run of the mill, like nothing crazy type thing.
yeah,
I wasn't that thrown off.
and then like suppose if I remember correctly, I might be remembering this wrong. But, like supposedly, his fucking reasoning is that he just doesn't want Cena to break Flair's record, which is just like, why do you fucking care, dude? You fucking
listen,
dummy.
listen, listen. That's sound logic.
No,
I
it's
can't.
not.
Why else would he be here? I don't they can't think of a fucking reason in the world. So why not some fan like I could not just sit by and allow this. and I have significant influence because I am a talk show host.
I'm a
So
celebrity of some renown.
there's
Um,
why you should have been able to get over the barricade, but
that's a whole new question, right?
that's a whole other conversation.
Wait, does he go through the No, I think he comes down the ramp, which is even
Doesn't he?
worse.
Doesn't he go over the barricade? I could have sworn he came over the barricade, but I mean, it
I'll
was a
double
long
check
time
that.
ago. I've been to a lot of wrestling shows since then.
Yes. And yes, there is a fantastic Undertaker and Brock Lesnar match that is also marred by a really dumb finish.
I was in the arena for that, so I didn't I didn't know what the fuck happened. I was confused. I
You
couldn't
just remember a
see.
bell ringing.
I remember having so much fun with the match, and then the finish to that match sucked the air out of the event for me. I was on the
Yeah.
ride home, like, what the
I don't
fuck
even blame you.
happened? Like, what? Yeah, it wasn't a good experience live. There's a couple
Yeah,
of SummerSlam. That's not the same show where Brock Lesnar Randy Orton thing happened, is it?
I mean it couldn't be because Brock Lesnar was doing Undertaker.
Oh fuck! This is why I smoke weed. That's what it does to you, folks. The dangers of marijuana.
Reefer madness.
You sure he couldn't have been on 2 matches that night? No, SummerSlam in Brooklyn. History of shitty finishes, I guess. But yeah,
Speaking of,
go ahead. I'm sorry,
I was
Greg.
gonna say, speaking of 2 matches, actually, I thought you were gonna. I thought it brings up an interesting discussion. But if you had something to say about SummerSlam, please say it now.
Not SummerSlam per se, but I wanted to talk about some stuff. Like I got this whole I don't know if you
Okay,
guys
yeah, can
noticed.
confirm. He comes from the entryway.
Oh, John Stewart. That makes
Yes.
sense. That makes the whole Ric Flair thing make no sense. Then that means that he used his influence to sneak backstage into the WWE SummerSlam specifically so that he can pull off this covert operation where he would keep John Cena from winning the WWE championship
And then
and
like
breaking Ric Flair's record.
doesn't get a chair when he gets there. Brings the chair with him.
That's what he was backstage telling the security. I'm just going looking for a seat. I'll be right back. There's no, there's no reason he should have been out there. But again, I was just very happy with the situation.
Yeah, you just didn't care because Cena lost. Good. Yay.
That's fine. It's like
I will accept this stupidity.
I mean, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that back then. The CM Punk match, the Rob Van Dam match. You take the fucking bullshit finish because you're like, this is fine. Cena lost.
I think I will take what I can get.
But yeah, I guess if you hadn't noticed, I'm sitting in front of an unused a green screen that's not being used at the moment. We had a bit of a
It's just the old emerald ring.
I'm just lying flat on the fucking old Noah mat right now. It's a dream come true. No, we
just took the burning hammer and you're now getting your neck sprayed.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an upgrade because we've got some stuff coming down the line. I mean, you'll continue to see upgrades and everything like that. We're just gonna get better and better, bigger and better. But I haven't really decided what I'm gonna put back here weekly. I'll just use this for now, and I won't show you what Master Roshi's doing behind the chair. It's an actual screenshot from the show too. So no,
also,
I don't have a
I'm
fucking
going
clue.
to be
Rich.
I'm gonna be very, very random and annoying here because I'm seeing a clip now as they posted up on the SummerSlam show we were just talking about, and I have to show it to you because I need to see if this is who I think it is. I don't remember his real name.
Who's that?
Is that boy Prometheus?
Josh Pro I forget his name. Josh Segura.
Yeah, yes.
There we go. Perfect.
Yes, John Segura, I think.
Where is he? Oh, he was at that show. He's an avid
Yeah, like
wrestling fan. He's at All
they
In.
got him on camera
He's
reacting. They got him on camera reacting to Seth Rollins winning.
Yeah, he's definitely at that show. Yeah, there he is. Look at him. he's probably with Seth and Mel. They go to these shows.
Probably.
They're rich people. They have a relationship. They go wherever they want. Damn
Get rich people seats.
So, I wanted to talk about something that I had seen online today. I think it was maybe today or yesterday.
Mm.
Triple H, Triple H in the background. Hey, listen, the WWE is on fire right now. I mean, the whole show isn't. I mean, I wouldn't watch. I don't watch it weekly live because I can't. But I watch clips, and they're really good. The show is really nice in bits. I like to watch just the good parts because I learned better after fucking 20 years of watching the WWE.
The weekly TV isn't great, but to some degree, the company is more interesting than it has been in a while.
A long time. It's I don't want to because I'm not like shitting on it, but I'm not trying to shit on it by saying this, but it's hard. It's still hard to sit through fucking 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. There's a lot of filler, man. There's some good stuff. There's some really good stuff, but there's also a lot of fucking nothing that doesn't matter, and I can skip that by simply watching on YouTube or
or
afterward.
even Hulu if you want to do it that way.
But the thing is, like, I don't miss anything because I'm following along live as it happens, result wise, because I have to fucking direct the show anyway. It's my personal experience. I know other people are like, "Well, what if you miss something?" It's like, first
It'll
of
be on
all,
YouTube within seconds.
I mean, first of all, here's the thing, right? It's said over and over. People say this shit all the time now, but it's the genuine fucking truth. More people are watching any form of media, any fucking television show, pro wrestling, WWE, movies. There are more people are watching the shit on their phones or on their computers than they're sitting in front of their television screens now. The WWE touts 300 fucking gazillion people have watched The Rock return online, like, and fucking 2 million of them watched live. You see what I'm saying? They're aware of that too. So the show is, if I don't even know if you guys have noticed. If you noticed, when I went to the Royal Rumble, we came back home and we turned on, not home. I was with my boy George, Major Issues. Shout out Major Issues. And we turned on the fucking WWE YouTube, and they've changed the entire way they upload things now. You know, it used to be where after the pay-per-view they wouldn't even play clips. Like, you only get still photos in the replays on Raw. Now we got home the same night. They had a video. They had like 10 Royal Rumble videos. They had one that said every single entrant in the Royal Rumble. They had a video up for every single highlighted important moment of the fucking Royal Rumble up there.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're aware.
Occasionally, you'll get a full match.
I mean, they're doing that now too. They got a lot of full matches. And I like the timeline thing everybody does now.
I mean, I mean to say occasionally you'll get a full match of that night's event.
Oh, once in a while. I don't know if they are there yet. I mean, if it's like one of those angle matches, like, oh no, it was 2 seconds and the match is over, they'll be like full match, and it's like a cheeky thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're there yet. But I said all that to say that this is the way things are now. You're not fucking missing anything if you only watch it on YouTube. As a matter of fact, it's formatted in a way where they know that you're watching on YouTube so that you'll be okay. Me personally, I'm following along the results anyway. So if I know there's something good, I'll look for it specifically. Otherwise, I'll just click on the major angles and I'll be on my way because I know what's going on. But one thing I have noticed weekly, and I talked about this before, was the American Alpha angle, right? It's really good. It's over as fuck. Chad Gable breaking out. People really want him to beat Gunther at WrestleMania.
It's so over, it killed another angle.
It did, didn't it? Rest in peace, Maximum Male Models.
Who to their credit are still running the gimmick on the indies.
Probably better now than it was in the WWE.
There's a deep chance of that, yeah.
Yeah, that good old freedom, creative freedom. But so she had been an established character on television, and there was a storyline that she was scrappy and learning how to wrestle from Chad Gable, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, but the storyline reflects real life because she doesn't actually know how to wrestle very well yet. So it's one thing if you do this story and it's a person that knows how to wrestle, but they're acting like they don't know how to wrestle, because then you can do the story, because the story is they're being taught how to wrestle and they're learning how to wrestle, and it can happen in this exaggerated amount of time that's very friendly for television.
Not necessarily learning. Yeah. No, there's one particular example that's close to it that stands out to me, which is I am always impressed at how veteran years of wrestling like Abyss was at looking like a guy who never stepped in a ring in his life.
Oh shit, that's right. That's right. They did the Joseph Park thing, and he had to act like he was a dude that didn't know how to wrestle, and he was really good at acting like a dude that didn't know how to wrestle.
Shockingly good.
Yeah. Yep. I always thought they would bring that to WWE TV. It seemed tailor made for WWE TV, and he works there.
I can see why.
But it didn't never happen. So, with the Maxine Dupree thing, the issue with the story, the only issue with the story is that you can't complete the arc because she doesn't really know. She's not really good at wrestling yet. And so they're having her develop on fucking national television, and it's hard to watch sometimes. It's like she's not taking up that much screen time, like she's not taking up obnoxious TV time, you know what I mean? But they put this, check this out, man. This was a couple weeks ago. They have her on TV. This went viral too. I hope we don't get
it. Valhalla. Certainly, and it might get used against her, which I think. Did you wear that much eye black?
That went viral, and it's like things. It's not even big.
What
See,
was
that's
supposed to happen there.
I don't have a fucking clue, right? I think it was supposed to be a back elbow, but the point is that they're not even that bad of mistakes. Though there was another really bad situation she couldn't get.
If anything, I almost thought that was on Nikki.
No, it was on Maxine. She was doing a lot of flippies, and she just landed like 16 years away from him. But so
I was just curious why Nikki crossed.
I think that's Valhalla, or maybe it's Valhalla. Yeah, she tries to. She tries to like she tries to like move forward into it after it's already messed up. Like she couldn't recover either, but
it looked like she tried to move to the side, like avoiding it.
But the biggest issue is that she has to do it on a big fucking stage in front of everybody. Yes. So it's it's really fucked up that they put her in that position, because I feel like anybody would want to learn where you're supposed to learn, where you're given like leeway, where people know that you're learning, so they don't shit hard on you. Like fucking, that you're in school. Like when you watch NXT, you can look at it like school. Like, oh, that sucks. But you know what? They'll come up with something else. We'll see where this goes.
The whole point of this thing here is that they're all supposed to be learning,
right? So watching it on television, people are not. You can't expect the general audience to understand this, right? You just can't. This is something that you and I know, because we know inside baseball when it comes to pro wrestling. We know that this is the position the company put her in, but for the general audience, they're just seeing somebody that's shitting the bed.
I want to be clear that inside baseball is the only baseball term that John knows.
It is, and it's not because it's a baseball term; it's because it's used in the other way. So,
yeah, like, and even then, even though it's not been the primary function of it for a while, there are still a few stragglers. Like Roxy didn't come in as a rookie. Like Roxy had some experience, she was Ring of Honor women's champion. You know,
oh, yeah, she's still very young and she still has a lot to learn.
course.
So that's still a good place for her to be at.
Of course, but like she's not freaking Obafemi.
No, not at all. Actually, I think they're trying something with Roxy right now where they're trying to do like a scrappy heel thing, and
Yes,
I like the scrappy part, but I keep saying like she's too adorable to take seriously.
She's a very angry young woman right now.
She does this pouty face, and I'm like, oh, you're freaking cute. But
and now she's using the old Canadian cross face as a finish.
She got rid of the pop rock. Yeah. But circling back to the Maxine Dupree of it all, Roxy's going to be able to develop on NXT. Maxine's going to have to develop on Raw, and general people that watch Raw don't fucking know that. If 1.4 million people watch Raw every week, 50,000 of them know what the fuck we know. Right? Like, it's not a lot, you know. So when you go to a house show and you shit the bed, this is going to happen. Oh my god, that's so fucked up. That dude is so loud, but he's just, he's so loud that it just permeated her fucking soul. That's so fucked up, right?
I love that.
It is.
I don't know what it is. I love like the crossing of that stone faced security woman.
It's solemn. It really is. And so she got booed. And it was pretty sad because if you know how it works, right, then you know that this is someone who's trying their best, and she's not been put in a good position by the company. But we know that we can blame the company. You and I can blame the company. The wrestlers can blame the company. There have been, I don't have the screenshots. I should have been more prepared. I can probably get them while we talk about it. There have been fucking wrestlers who are speaking out about Maxine Dupree being booed and heckled, even though she's trying her best. Damn it! And it's like, is this really? I understand. Like, I understand how they feel.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine that the response, the blowback has been motivated by some sort of real life visceral response that the wrestlers are experiencing in person from Maxine.
I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure it's happened, right? I'm sure it's happened to them. I'm sure they've seen her get booed. I'm sure they've seen her.
God, I forgot Cody's wife was on this show. I'm sorry.
I'm sure they've seen her get booed and come to the back and be sad about it, and they're like, "I'm speaking out," but like, what the fuck? Bro, no fucking way. So that's me done being objective. I've spoken about where we are, right? We've reached the point where the information you've gotten your information. You know where we are. Now I'm gonna give you my response to that because I read that. First person to respond was Rhea Ripley. It's not just Rhea. I think it was Rhea Ripley, Ivy Now, the Maximum Male Models. Everybody was being supportive of the Maxine, and that is great. That is awesome. You should keep being supportive of the Maxine. But my first response was, get the fuck out of here. Like, I cannot believe that we're at this place right now. And I don't know if it's my opinion. If I don't know if it's where we are, like, is that just where we are as a society? Like, have we gotten here? Like, are we at a place where it's just frowned upon to boo something you don't like because the person is trying hard? Like, is that? I mean, is that where we are in pro wrestling? I feel like if that's where we reach, then we're not audience members anymore. Like, we're part of the fucking show. Like, you just want me to play along. Like, you want me to follow the script. And I mean, I can understand why you don't want me to affect your experience, but fuck. Fuck, I paid a lot of money to sit up front and I just watched 5 minutes that made me want my money back. So I'm going to express myself. And if I'm a general fan, I don't know shit about Maxine Dupree being in this position. All I know is that I see a person on a stage and they get paid a lot of money. They should provide me what I paid them for. So I'm gonna give that reaction. But me as a person who does know, I think it's stupid to expect everybody to just be to understand that and to be what's the fucking word, compassionate towards that. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. This sucks.
Sure.
I also think we're coddling her in a weird way that's almost, I don't know, it's not like it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a weird coddling, like, oh, she's just a baby. Like, where the fuck is that energy for every other shitter? Like every other garbage wrestler who's trying fucking hard and they stink. And like, where's this energy for like fucking QT Marshall? QT Marshall he works very fucking hard. He works very hard and he tries very hard and he's not even a bad wrestler.
I think it's because QT Marshall looks like he's 35 and he's been doing this for 10 years.
So I mean, like that. Where's this energy for any other like shit? Even like QT Marshall's a joke, but like, where's this energy for any other rookie? Like, and I mean,
I'd argue as someone who's been, I'd argue as someone who's been a complete hater of him since the day I saw him. You know, like there was none of this energy for like AEW year one Joey Janela, who was just an absolute.
But he's trying so hard. Greg. It's not his fault that he doesn't know how to, do conventional, foundational pro wrestling things. He's good at the other things. He's trying. Why won't they accept him? Just for me, it feels like we're coddling. It's weird.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's an interesting situation for a few reasons. One, I think the initial thing you said recently, or briefly, was about whether or not we are fans reacting to what we're seeing or whether or not we're part of the show. I think that question speaks highly to how much the relationship between the fan and the product has changed.
Yeah.
Because like you almost never had to really be part of the show to elicit that reaction. It was just the way you reacted to everything that was in front of you. You booed the bad guys, you cheered the good guys. That was just naturally the way it was until our relationship with the show changed. And I'll even argue that there are a lot of people who are purposely trying to be part of the show in their own way.
Oh yeah, you're always gonna get the guy who's trying to get himself over. Like, I'm sure that this dude who's screaming like "You suck, Maxine," but like he's trying to get himself over. But there was also like a few thousand people just generally booing. Like, how are you gonna get mad at that? Like a reaction towards it, like these are bad wrestling fans. That was the initial way it was positioned. That's what Rhea Ripley retweeted to. The original tweet was, you guys are bad wrestling fans for doing that. And I personally think that's completely misguided. And it's like, I feel bad for her, but I feel bad for anybody who slips and falls into the river and gets wet. But like, I'm not gonna be like, you fucking river, how dare you wet my friend who fell and tried so hard to walk across this bridge, but she fell into the water, you piece of shit, river. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That's where I am with that.
Like I said, I mostly just think, like, I think it's very interesting that it speaks very much to how much the relationship between the fan and the product has changed so much.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if they had treated Maxine Dupree?
Have you ever seen anything like this?
He's trying so hard, bro. He's trying so hard. They're throwing to him. Fuck you, Cena. He's trying so fucking hard, Greg. I can't. I just can't. I can't deal with this.
So
it feels a little entitled. Like it's weird. I hate to use that word. It's been tainted by old people, but it feels a little. It feels a little. I don't know. Entitled. Like you're gonna give us this fucking reaction that we're working towards, even if we don't deserve it yet. Like, bro, I'm sorry. Like she sucks right now, and then you let her know, and
Sure.
like maybe she should take that as motivation. You know, I got it. What else can you do?
I think and this depends a lot on how you do it. And maybe that has a lot to do with it. I think the idea is that you're hoping for what what one might call the old whipwreck effect,
Mikey?
where yes, where you are sort of rooting for this absolute hapless nobody to come along in front of you and bloom like a beautiful violent flower,
I don't think there's gonna be
as Mikey
like
eventually does on TV and in front of several hundred violent, belligerent, very drunk and high
drunkards.
Filipinos.
Is that what they're called? I don't think they can call themselves that.
No, I made that up.
Philadelphians, I think. We have a pretty
Philadelphians,
decent.
yeah.
We have a pretty decent Philippine fan base. I'd like to shout
That's
them
fair.
out.
You know what? I didn't even hear that as I said it.
We love them too.
Philadelphians. Excuse me. Yes.
I love the
So
Philadelphians too.
yes, some of them. No, I can't. Yeah, I think that's the idea, right? You're trying to get this babyface non-wrestler over as this, hopefully blossoming flower, and you're hoping that these people follow along with that. That said, I don't think it's being well represented in that way. I don't think he's being protected in the ring in that way. The only match I've seen from start to finish was, I think, a few months back, where they had Maxine out there with Rhea Ripley, and it just like you could see the differences in timing and in skill, where you're just like, okay, she's in a place where she not only where she doesn't belong, but where there's no way she's gonna get there anytime soon. I used to argue that this was the bane of all those poor Tough Enough kids when they put them in that position.
So I mean,
The only difference is that the only difference is that because of that TV show, some of them had already formed relationships with the Tough Enough kids.
There's that. There's some of that, but I'm just beyond like going into the details of it, just on a general level, just pulling back a little bit, just not even knowing them as people, just looking at this like we're the consumers on the other side of a screen.
Sure.
Is it wrong? Like, is this wrong? Do you think this is wrong? Do you think these people are bad wrestling fans for reacting this way towards Maxine Dupree, or I guess any other babyface pro wrestler who's trying to get an act over and is being completely rejected?
I would not say wrong. If only in a sense that I guess it would be just as hypocritical of me as somebody who, no matter how much of a babyface presentation they were putting on, will absolutely shit on the Young Bucks. I don't think I get to. I don't think I have a place in that conversation, because I will boo any babyface wrestler that I just do not absolutely care for.
As is your right as a paying fan. Like, that's been the whole thing. Like, how many times has that been said? Like, they've used that. Commentary has used that as like an excuse when people get buried. Taz famously uses that. Like, that's their right as paying fans. Like, they're expressing their right as paying fans. Well, like, come on, dog. I can't. I just I can't agree with this
Taz
shit.
coming from a place where uh, you didn't have the control over the audience that you'd like to.
And there's thousands of people. There's thousands of people who are responding, and I think very sensitive, emotional people who are like looking at this from an
Mm,
empathetic place. It's like really
sure.
sad that it happened to Maxine, and she looked dejected in the video, which really makes it worse. Look at this tweet
Yeah.
though. Look at this. They all suck. Shitty people. It's like, damn, bro. They just said, "Boo, this stinks." They didn't say
Blue
like,
check.
"Yo, they used to call the wrestlers crack whores. She's a crack whore." Like you're like crazy shit. Like this dude said, he said the most generic fucking wrestling insult that you could find in any video game. You suck. You stink. Like they used to chant, "You can't wrestle," viciously. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this is
They did it.
nothing.
They did it to Big Show. They did it to Cena. I think they did it to Orton for a bit, which is actually hilarious because Orton is a fantastic wrestler. He just wasn't Kurt Angle.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That's just it's not like it's a badge. Like, take that shit and go like, damn, this sucks. They used to sing. They made a song. Just, God. It's a good thing that they're reacting. If they're booing, they cared to see you, and they were disappointed in the performance, but they cared to see you. So next time, there's the thing about that is that you can't change it. That's why they say things like, take it as a good experience, like take it on the chin, like learn from it, because you literally can't do anything about it. So if you just let it fuck with you, then you're gonna let it fuck with you, and you're just gonna quit. If you look at it in a positive way and you try to say, you know what, they cared, and I'm gonna maybe fucking watch the shit back, see what I did wrong, and see what I can do from here.
There's certainly something very real to saying like the worst thing you can do about that reaction is to immediately try to change it.
Yeah. I'm not saying
if you start working, huh?
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say I'm not saying they should turn her heel, but you go ahead.
No. I'm speaking on Maxine Dupree as the performer.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you immediately try to go out there and change those people's minds, it's never gonna work. Like those people are either just going to pull away from you even more, or like you're going to sort of overcompensate in ways that you're probably not prepared for. I say that.
No, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
I'd say that there isn't. It's okay. I'd say I stutter my thoughts at times. I'd say there is a genuine opportunity here when you read those tweets and when you think about some of the things that people are saying to actually get from that part of the fan base that sort of empathetic Mikey Whipwreck like reaction to where you've already got a section of people who are just like, no, she's coming along. Let her have her journey. And if we let her actual booking reflect that, we can do something here.
Yep. Well, I mean, let's
but
see.
Like most of the time, she's just in matches.
That's what I'm saying. They've already kind of shown that they are not going to handle that very well. Like they've already put her in this position where this happened. Like I don't have any faith that they're gonna fix this, and I feel bad for Maxine, but I also am not gonna blame the fucking fans for saying how they feel. They didn't disrespect her. They didn't call her out of her name. They didn't say anything misogynist. They didn't say anything sexist. They didn't say anything wrong. Motherfucker said, "You suck." I can't. It doesn't get any more clear than that. That guy thinks I suck.
Which is why I think so much of the vitriol to that reaction has to do with the idea that from the wrestler standpoint, there either was, and from the fan standpoint, they believe there to be an actual visceral reaction that came out of Maxine to that negativity.
Can we look at that
Which,
again?
like,
Let's check it out again. It's like 5 seconds, like 10 seconds. Let's see this. She looks sad.
I mostly mean backstage, but yeah.
Okay, but I mean, I guess there's a reaction that the fans grabbed onto on Twitter, and that's why they're like calling people shitty humans. I mean, was she not just selling? Like, was she not just like, oh no?
Yeah, I didn't think there was any particular reaction to what was happening, and I thought it was cute that somebody still latched on to the old thank you gimmick.
Oh my god, I forgot that she even did that. I forgot
that
she
is an
did
easier move than you think it is, especially
No.
when they set it up with the girl on the second turnbuckle.
I genuinely forgot that happened.
All you got to do is put old girl on your shoulders. Sarah can put her own hands in place.
That's
But yes,
I mean,
I do remember that happening. Also, it's kind of funny. It was funny to me because, like, I know that's kind of Blair Davenport's finish as well.
she does. She is using that. Isn't she using like the B trigger or B? Yeah.
She has been, yes. So like Blair Davenport was the one who got in trouble with Bea Priestley because like Toyota was really upset that she was using it.
She really doesn't like people using that move.
Not without some sort of permission,
yeah.
or yeah.
She didn't even ask me, that bitch. You know, like, I'll kill you myself.
Which I think is a silly ass thing in pro wrestling, but hey, whatever.
It is, but it's a natural human thing to want a credit for something. Like, I think even if they don't speak out, like even if you never say anything about it, deep down you're just like, I wish they would say I amended that. Like, fuck. I understand that. But generally, to close off that part of the discussion, I do not agree that it's wrong to boo a babyface. If we're gonna pull out video and shit, and we're gonna like get people canceled for like heckling babyface wrestlers, I'm fucked. I'm going down. I'm pretty sure I stopped a match like in mid-match just by heckling once. I'm pretty sure if you go back and watch some old Ring of Honor shows, I have been like, you fucking suck. And the whole match just stops and they just look at me. Like,
who are you hating on?
It was Naito. It was fun. This was pre Los Ingobernables Naito.
I was gonna say Naito, who John will later cheer on in the Tokyo Dome.
That
finally accomplished the dream.
Yeah, that improves me right though with the fucking Okada thing.
Listen.
You fucking suck! Damn it!
Even after he has succeeded, John will never let go of the Double Destino tragedy.
I should have put this as subject, but I feel like when Naito finally got his Wrestle Kingdom moment, that's like the series finale of New Japan. Like, we're just not gonna talk about the things that happened after that. Man,
wow.
Like, it's been rough. I should have put that as a topic because it's been fucking rough. Yeah, Matt got a story when I went to Raw a few years ago. I pulled the shit out of Enzo, and fans were literally telling me to shut the fuck up. Why? It's Enzo. But we're here now about this New Japan thing, and it is rough. Like, I watched the 2 New Japan shows over the weekend, the 2 New Beginning shows, and
I saw a little bit of it.
It was like, it was hard. It was hard to watch. Like, the hair versus hair match, fucking I was looking forward to that shit, man.
I heard that shit the bed.
Yeah, the hair versus hair match. Fucking some of these decisions, some of these the House of Torture show winning the fucking junior heavyweight title by count out and House of Torture interference. Like, what the fuck is
Yeah, that
going
was an
on?
interesting choice.
What is happening? Like, what is happening to this sport that I love? My lion mark, my beautiful lion mark. What have you done? What have they done? I don't know if it's not I don't think it's a result of them losing talent either because they've got wrestlers there, but unfortunately they don't have anybody who's really ready to step up and fill in. They used to have like 3 or 4 top spots at the same time, and they only have like one guy right now who can sit there. It's Naito, but he's been there for like a decade. So it doesn't count. The Tanahashi's old. He can't really do much, but he's trying. He's trying to hold his he's trying to hold his weight as best he can. He's
Mhm.
challenging Dolph Ziggler or Nick
So
Knapp.
is so are his tights.
His fucking things don't fit anymore, and he refuses to buy a new pair. Like, what the fuck?
He really does.
Oh, that's fucked up.
In fact, it is but a gain. I could not be happier for him to go to the WWE. The New Japan fans are just a little bit better with him being gone.
We'll cut that shit. We'll put that right into the. So New Japan is pretty much fucking cooked right now, and its creative is it's at a creative low. It's not like they're dead. It's not like mid 2000s dark era and
Oh no,
Enochiism
we're not mid
New Japan,
Enochiism now.
but it's rough as a fan of watching when the fucking WWE Elimination Chamber show was more fun than either of the New Beginning shows. I'm like, what timeline
It
is this?
helped
Like,
that the Elimination Chamber show is also like, here are the two big gimmick matches. Here's the really over woman in her home country. I don't think there's much else on the show. I think there's like 2 other matches, but they're short. It's a
you're
very
talking about
short card.
As I say, you're talking
Hmm?
about a show where you had the final matches for, Kazuchika Okada. Like, you had Okada's final match on this event.
Which
Like,
was a 6-man tag.
that's fucking shitty ass 6-man tag. And then Tama Tonga is New Japan goodbye in the main event as well. It's crazy to me that we're here. I mean, I know that the WWE show was primed to be better, but that's my issue. That's literally my issue. Like, how did we get here? That's crazy to me.
I think a lot of that is sort of the Hunter structure.
There's that. Like, I mean, WWE getting better is one thing. Like, yes, but WWE getting better does not like take the energy away from good wrestling. So, like, New Japan is now bad as a result of nature taking its effect.
But
Like,
yeah,
they're
that's a result of poor creative. I don't know what's going on back there on the book.
yeah, it's
Um,
rough, man. Ghetto, Dick Togo, fuck you both. Get him out of here. Get him out of here now.
listen, I think there has been trouble. There's been a lot of trouble just um finding a way out of quote the Okada era, and that's not a knock. Oh, stop it. Jesus.
Yes.
That is not a knock on like Okada as much as it's at all. That is just a fact that like it's really difficult to sort of transition out of something that great and then to replace it with something new, right? It's almost always going to be a little bit of a step behind.
There's
Now with
also there's also just like the 3 or 4 wrestlers who were primed to be in those spots. I don't know that I just don't know that they're ready. That they were ready.
So yeah, that's the other situation we're in. We've got these young top single stars, and the 2 of them being was it Yuya Yamura?
Yep.
I'm
You
I
said
always
that
have
right.
difficulty
You
saying
did
his
say
name.
that. You said it better
Okay,
than I would.
Yuya Yamura and Yota Tsuji, who I warmly refer to as Roman Reinsu. the tribal shogun, the head of the tatami. He does a spear. He doesn't help himself. Those are two guys we seem to be looking at as like the guys to sort of move up into that spot, and this is actually what I'm surprised about. They had a good match, a good solid match at Wrestle Kingdom, but for some reason they shit the bed here. When so many of the they shit the bed here when so many eyes are on them because to some degree, I think we have to concede Okada left the company somewhat unceremoniously.
But they've had so many they've had a long time, Greg. They've had a long time to develop these wrestlers in particular. How fucking long were half these guys in Excursion? Shooter was gone for what felt like ever.
Shooter was gone for so long that people who went on Excursion after him came back before him.
I didn't think he was coming back. I thought something went wrong.
Right? we were both waiting for fucking AEW to hit the poach. It was just, fucking Moxley was going to be like, my son, come here. You are welcome.
I'm bringing him home.
Yes.
He's Blackpool Combat
Club. Right? I think Yoda came back before he did, and I'm pretty sure Yoda left after he did.
Yep.
And it didn't Shooter get stuck in the pandemic?
He did. And he was in England, but then even after, it took him a little while.
Oh no, yeah, it didn't. Like they definitely waited. They definitely took their time to bring him back, but like he also got stuck in that pandemic vortex. It was weird for Shooter there.
They used him like they used Okada.
I was gonna say he got the Okada gimmick, right? Yeah. That's it. Meanwhile, me and John are remembering old Watanabe doing his damnedest.
So Jesus has a question for us, and he says it is something I've heard as well, amongst fans anyway.
Not yet.
People think, should Jon Moxley beat Naito and drop the belt to Shooter? It would take. I mean, for me personally, like I think this is a good path if Shooter was the guy right now. Like if he was ready, like I don't know, man. I think he's fine. I think he's great. I don't think he comes off. I think it's one of those the belt doesn't make the wrestler kind of situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I would also question in that sense if the Japanese fan base has the relationship with Mox and Shooter that we do.
I think they do. I think at this point, Mox is.
I'm not sure
because it's like Mox is featured on New Japan. He was featured frequently, and then the Shooter thing, like his whole fucking thing is this damn security blanket jacket.
Program, but I don't know if they love it like we do.
Oh, I mean, I've never seen anything about them not liking it, and I mean, I've looked at like this has been his thing the whole time he's been there, and he's been accepted. Like I feel like if they didn't like that, I feel like why would they be forcing them? But I guess they're doing bad creative anyway, so if they were forcing the jacket on people, it wouldn't be that big of a surprise. But it feels like the jacket thing is like a big deal for him. Like that's an arc they really want to come back to. And if I remember correctly, like that thing really does belong to them. Like that whole thing happened over there. Like AEW never even got.
Yeah.
They just had the one match where a Shooter came for Forbidden Door, and that was like the AEW reference. But most of that belongs to New Japan anyway. So I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to do this. But they already set up Yota Tsuji basically telling Naito like, "I have to come for you." Like that was the thing.
They're already doing the inner brand, group.
It wasn't like a turmoil. It wasn't a turmoil thing. He just basically did it respectfully, like, at some point. I have to come for you. You have
You are
the belt.
champion man, and I am challenger man, and we must do
Yeah,
this.
you know. Shota
I
is
get it.
already Yoda Tsuji. I do think out of the four, Yoda Tsuji is probably the most ready and has the most presence and has the most. He's got a charisma about him, and he also stepped right to Okada's face and told him he was a pussy for not. You didn't put
Which
none
is
of us over, you fucking bitch.
which I can already tell has earned the appreciation of many of that fan base.
I thought that was gangster. I like that shit. It puts him a step above for me. Like, oh shit. That was like the most over anybody got on Okada out of the three.
Yeah.
So you take it where you can get it.
Also, like I'm always a big fan. Obviously, you can't have everybody do it because it dilutes the idea. I'm always a big fan of just like one of the younger wrestlers just not giving a shit about the goddamn veterans.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, but he's also very
Fuck
justified.
you,
So
you old bitch.
I'm with it. I'm absolutely with it. Mac thinks that Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be getting the belt sometime this year.
I don't think so.
I
I
think
understand
he
why.
should. I agree
Sure.
that he should. I don't know that he will. I agree with you there. He's been very vocal about being ready to be that guy for
I believe that.
but he's been very vocal about that for a long time too. Like he's been saying that for years. He's been saying that like I'm pretty sure since when did he win a New Japan Cup? Was it like 4 years ago? Jesus Christ.
I don't remember.
Had to be like 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe. I'd have to
They've
Google it, but I can't.
they've always had a very weird relationship with Zack Sabre Jr. in the sense that like visually speaking, he seems to be obviously a junior, but they refuse to book him there.
He's bulked up, I think.
Sure, but you know what I mean. Like that the entire time he's been there, they've never put him on that path.
Because they don't see it like a weight division thing. They see it like a card division thing. Like they see
They used
him.
to.
Well, I mean, they used to, but these days you can kind of see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
I think even dating as far back as Shingo, when Shingo had the light heavyweight title and he didn't change weight. He didn't do anything, but they were like, he's a heavyweight now. It's like, wait a minute, did you just put him up the card or like what just happened?
He got a little softer in the middle.
We noticed you've ate a couple sandwiches, so we're gonna have to move you up the different division.
Yeah.
But I mean, just
you know, I said it because like you can see history of guys in New Japan who were junior heavyweight wrestlers, and then you start seeing them bulk up because they're trying to push them up to the heavyweight level, and they have to physically get there.
But ultimately, even then, that tells you kind of that it's not just a weight division; it's a class division. It's a card like a position division. Like it's the junior heavyweight title, but it's also the junior spot. You are so I don't think they thought of Zack Sabre Jr. that way, which that says a lot about him. Even though he was a lot smaller when he first joined too, so I was like, okay,
yes,
but they enjoyed that shit. So good on Zack Sabre Jr. I just don't know that they are ready to do that, but they should because they ain't got much.
I don't think so.
They don't have many people.
Yeah. It's a tough situation over there because we have to. They took too long in getting the 4 guys that they were hoping to be the next generation of talent. Ready for that position.
There's that. But if the company doesn't believe in those 4 right now, and they also feel that they're not ready,
bad news.
then they might not be ready to do the Yoda Tsuji Naito thing. But then I'm thinking about what Forbidden Door was originally kind of supposed to be. And you kind of remember that Jon Moxley was he had started the CMLL feud with AEW, basically being an asshole. Sure. And then he was also in a position to take the New Japan World Championship. Forbidden Door was supposed to be a three-way Forbidden Door thing this year. AEW, New Japan, and CMLL. That does put him in an interesting position where they maybe might have been planning to do something where Moxley's beef with CMLL intertwines with him fucking having New Japan people trying to kill him too now because he stole the belt. And they might have wanted to do some kind of multi-man situation at the AEW pay-per-view. And
Maybe.
New Japan actually does have a history of strapping a gaijin right before a big US tour or event or something important, and they'll take it right back. Like I don't think they have a big issue with it. They did it when AJ first got there. They did it with Jay White, which was supposed to be Kenny, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did it with Moxley because Moxley's in a gaijin, but he was a member of the New Japan roster before he was even in AEW. So I mean, they probably feel some claim to him. I mean, it's not impossible. I wouldn't be. It would be like a shocking moment, but I wouldn't be like, "How could they have done this?" Good lord. I don't know. What about you, Greg? Would you hate it?
I wouldn't hate it. I don't think there is. If we're thinking about Forbidden Door this year, I don't think the timeline is good.
Yeah. It's supposed to be in June. So he would win the belt in April and then hold it until June, presumably. Which would be what event?
Oh, we're talking about Moxley losing the belt at Forbidden Door.
That's what I thought. That's how I envisioned it.
That's even worse.
Because it's very obvious. It's transparent. Like it's a transparent thing, but it's also a very New Japan thing. They've done that. Like they've done things like this.
Sure. I'm just thinking like I don't think Shooter crosses the line by that time.
Oh no, I don't even think they would have dropped it to Shooter. I think it would have. Okay. I think he would have dropped it back. I think he would have dropped it back to Naito.
Fair enough.
And they would have continued whatever.
So maintain the status quo then.
Yeah, but that's how I kind of saw it, like a little detour. Like, oh shit, Mox has the belt. How could we have let this happen? Go get it back. Now we're back on track. So I mean that could definitely happen, but they've taken another blow. Another blow in Tama Tonga, who we originally meant to talk about. Tama Tonga left New Japan on Saturday. Was it Saturday night? Sunday morning? And this week it was reported that he is headed to the WWE. And a lot of fans immediately thought they should do some people thought they should do the Bloodline. And I was like, well,
is he the same family?
No, but they consider them his family and their family. You know how that goes. You know, they're all they consider them family. They're part.
I mean, if the families are good with it, then I got nothing to say. I was just as long as that's good.
Like they have spoken out. Like not they, but I'm pretty sure somebody spoke. I think it was Lance. Lance, I know. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just a fucking Bronx Puerto Rican. I can barely speak my languages.
You have to say partner.
That's my dialect. Partner. Yeah. New York. So Tama Tonga headed to the WWE. People immediately put him with the Bloodline. I'm like, God damn you and your racist booking. Others, you know, he's gonna join Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows in NXT.
You probably put all the black guys in a tag team.
They do, and all the Mexican luchadors are in a group. And all the Japanese girls are in a faction, and all the Japanese guys are in a faction. And what
Those
other connection do they have?
Clearly, they are friends.
Right? They have to be. I mean, they're the only ones who know how to speak to each other. Like, no, you fucking racist. So I personally watching Tama Tonga a long time, and I cannot tell you of a time where I was particularly
hot
big
on Tama
fan.
Tonga.
Yeah. Same. And it's not like he sucked, but anytime he had a big match, it was mostly paint by numbers stuff and it's heatless. It's but like the most heated thing he had before he broke from Bullet Club and became Never, like the last part of his run was probably the best work that he's done. But before that, was it the botched Bullet Club Civil War or the fucking
the firing squad?
The firing squad, the bullshit. He was getting dragged along. Like he was doing the Bullet Club was doing stories that he wasn't even a part of. He would just come out like, I'm part of the club too, bang bang. He was never my guy in New Japan. So seeing that he got signed to WWE, I was just like, that's great. I will
put this into a perspective that might be controversial. I've always found Tama Tonga to be a guy who I don't want to say rested, but like landed squarely, comfortably in the middle all the time.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like lack of.
No, well, that said, Tama Tonga comfortably in the middle in New Japan might be high level for the WWE.
you got a point. You actually got a big point there. He might still be a big get for WWE. This is I mean I laugh, like I make this joke, right? Like, Triple H got Shawn Spears and Tama Tonga, and the other guys got Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada. Like there's a very big difference between the kind of wrestlers that you got. But it's also like, WWE makes the most out of guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
They do. They make the most out of mid wrestlers. I mean, to put it in the easiest way, they can turn a mid wrestler into an entertaining television character. Lexus King. It is the way that it
might
is.
Be pushing it.
Okay, listen. Maybe he's not entertaining. No, they like the guy. He's got presentation, Greg.
Okay.
He's got a throne. Don't you know? He's got a throne and it slides, dog. He's like Michael Jackson. Yeah. He's like in a chair. I like Lexus King. I had a lot of high hopes for him in AEW, as we've mentioned. We've documented. If you've been listening to us since the beginning, you would have went on the journey with us. when we were high on the lows, on the what's going on the oh god, they got left behind by Julia. We went through the whole thing. So
when the fucking 19-year-old knows she's on the sinking ship and
I got a pitch. I just have a pitch. What's that, Julia? Get me out of here. I don't care how. Oh shit. Okay.
Let me hang out with the goth kids.
Him trying to be Kenny Omega wasn't it from Jesus. He did have a little bit of it wasn't like he was trying to be Kenny Omega. I think the issue with Lexus King was that he was in a place where sink or swim. Like you got pitches. We give you this general idea. Maybe sometimes we got something. I got this for you. Let's flesh it out. And he's like, flesh it out. I'm taking what you're giving me, dog. That's what I got. Whatever you gave me. So in WWE, they give it to you. They're gonna give it to you. And they're gonna overproduce it, and they're gonna make it their thing. And all you have to do is perform, and that's bare minimum. Like obviously, if you want to be a fucking great, you get in there, you perform, and you add your own flavor and your spice to it. But ultimately, at the beginning stages, all you have to do is perform. So he's gonna thrive a lot more in that environment than
I also wonder if guys like Lexus King and some of the other dudes are much more comfortable being produced by like other highly successful wrestlers.
There's that. I'm sure there's that. But I mean, it's just ultimately you can tell in the presentation, like they gave him the sauce. They fucking squeezed this shit all over him. They painted him, they tanned him, they shaped him up, they gave him a character. They tanned the shit out of him. They gave him a fucking character, and he's rolling with it. I mean, even though the past couple of weeks they've been kind of he got squashed by Obafemi, and it was like the most end of push match. Like you got like this big momentum. I'm leading up to this title match, and then
The mighty Ozaru
squashed. So I mean, I'm sure they still believe in him, but it was just one of those things about Lexus King. And I think Tama Tonga coming to WWE will benefit from that as well, because he's not a bad wrestler. I just didn't give a fuck about him in New Japan. I never had a reason to give a fuck about him. His stories weren't interesting. His in-ring style wasn't interesting.
He also just at times, even as a character, just came off like a little pathetic, being under all these like top guys and just screaming about his place.
That was a fucking real blow for me personally. Like, if any minor little bit of respect I might have for Tama, all that screaming about their lead and all that bullshit, like, bro, just do something about it. What the fuck are you doing here? Like, what are we doing here? What are you doing here? This is pathetic. It sucks.
Yeah.
There's
some like he had tried to do that thing for a while where he gets attention by calling out other things, outside things, you know.
Jim Cornette gimmick. He's just gonna call out things in pro wrestling.
Maybe yeah. Like I remember at one point I think he had won the tag. They had won the tag belts again, and I think he had made some comment about like Gallows and Anderson or something, like all these teams outside of the New Japan company.
Yeah.
And you know, he'll make those comments about like the quote, the Elite Boys and all this stuff that isn't Bullet Club, and who say they're Bullet Club.
And none of it was to work a program. That's the part that was like, what are you fucking doing here?
Yeah.
Are you trying to go into business for yourself? Like, really?
Yeah.
Dog? What is this?
And it's also one of those things that actually like works against you, because even if you think you're being provocative and controversial, I'm gonna relate this to an AEW thing at the moment. Really, it just says like, oh, Tama Tonga really spends a lot of his time thinking about people above him, which does nothing for his station.
That's part of it. That's probably the biggest thing that I had an issue with. But ultimately, it was like, I have a big thing about it, about perception. Like, perception is really important in wrestling.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Probably why you shouldn't put the other guy over.
Exactly. That's what the fuck is going on here. You're literally screaming about, why are they getting everything and I'm not? Like, you're bringing attention to the fact that you're not getting shit.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it's a good, and I'm like, but it's a good pickup for WWE. And I say that, it sounds sarcastic, but it is.
Listen, they got a fairly talented guy, and maybe they can do something with him. Like, maybe they can make him more interesting than he was in New Japan, because you know, when you aren't like the most character over there, you've got to get over with your wrestling, and if that ain't there, then it ain't happening.
So what do they do?
It's not a bad looking dude, right?
Not at all.
You can sell that image.
Though? What do you do with Tama Tonga in WWE? How do you see this going in Triple H's WWE?
Oh, geez, I don't even know, man. Like other than the legacy gimmick, but I don't even think you can do that stuff.
Because you have to book him like Haku.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I want to say like Haku, but like, you know.
Well, no, not like, you don't want to book him like they booked him, but you have to book him like the legend. Like, he has to live up to the legend of Haku. Sure. Now he has to.
Which is probably a harder thing to do at his age, right?
He is pretty old. That's another thing. He's like
40. He's like 40, yeah.
Right? If he goes to NXT, he's 42 fucking years old.
Listen, Bobby Fish went. Oh,
the oldest dude in class.
Yeah, right. Hello, fellow kids.
Sorry. That's gonna look funny, but they did send Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows to NXT, so I can see
20 years of experience. You're gonna job the fucking Obafemi. He's gonna slap
2
you in the
minutes.
chest.
2 minutes, big chop, you go down.
Bang.
Oh fuck.
Oh man. Gosh. Yeah, like that's I don't know what you do with that. Like it's really depressing. I can almost see Tama Tonga just being a guy who has a job in a performance center in a few years.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's his job is gonna be now. That's what we find out. Like he got hired to be a coach.
He does
Well,
a few
that makes
TV.
sense.
He does a few TV spots and just settles in to.
I'm not gonna lie though.
I was gonna say he settles into his polo shirt.
But to be real, like not. It is really funny seeing WWE fans like get really excited for like Tama Tonga. Like, I'm sorry. Like that fucking makes me laugh. I just like.
Did you see the same guy I did?
Like, were you there for like? Were you watching? Were you waking up at 4 or fucking 2 in the morning to sit through his matches while you fucking wait for the main event? Like, were you there with us? I don't know if you know what you're excited for. It's gonna be. I'm going to laugh my ass off when the Tama Tonga gets the big WWE new guy pop. Like, get the fuck out of here, dog.
I'm just imagining it's the same. It's been the same 12 guys for years jamming down the street to his fucking rap song. Guerrilla tactics. What?
Oh man, it kills me, Brig. I am.
Ain't nobody really big gorilla.
I'm excited to see that because that's gonna be a real jolt of entertainment.
Why didn't they take Tangaloa?
Wasn't the original report way back that both of them were gonna go?
Was it?
Yeah, they not Tangaloa. They were looking at Hikaleo.
I remember hearing they were looking at Hikaleo, and then it just never fucking happened.
They were like, "Oh, we looked at him."
Like, well, we looked.
Yeah, we didn't like what we saw.
Moving on. No, like it's literally just one of those negative Hideo Kojima tweets. Just like, well, we looked, and doesn't say anything else.
Oh shit, that's incredible. So I mean, speaking of guys coming to NXT and being shitters, mid carders coming to NXT and people getting excited about it. What'd you think of Sean Spears coming back? Listen. This is fun.
I think if there's anything positive to take from this, it is better that he came back as Sean Spears, the fucking chairman, and not just putting on that weird Ty Dillinger outfit again. I think Sean is at a point in his career where he can he's settling into the paycheck. He's got his school. I think he's getting that WWE money and getting out.
Yeah, they're kind of lucky to get this check job. Yeah, I feel you. It's like, what else were you gonna do with him? And how did we even get here? Like, how did you even come back? Like, what are we doing with him in the first place?
Yeah.
It was a cool moment, I guess. It was interesting to see, like you said, that he's Sean Spears and that he brought the AEW gimmick with him. Yeah. I think that is that's what I always take. That's always the most interesting to me. That all the AEW wrestlers who go to WWE, minus, fucking Brian Pillman, who is fucking trash, keep their present, like they keep the entire AEW presentation. Like the straight, even Cody fucking Rhodes, as in the main event, is the most over babyface in the company. It's entirely ported over from AEW. So that I always laugh. It's very interesting to me how the same people who could look down on AEW all of a sudden get so fucking excited when the very same AEW segment ports over to Monday Night Raw or something. It's like there is no difference. There's just none. Jade Cargill, Sean Spears, Cody Rhodes. I'm sure if they had MJF over there right now, he would just be MJF.
Oh, he'd have the theme song, the shitty theme too.
He would absolutely have the shitty theme. And people would be like, "This is incredible! I love it so much now. I can't put my finger on why." It's because you're a loyalist, and that's a-okay. But we should all work towards being self-aware. So that's cool. Bringing up a little bit something a little more serious, I guess. Fucking the United States government.
The government.
Canceled
the government. On the visa, nothing works.
The United States government canceled the visas of 19 CMLL luchadores. And it was so the way the story goes, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, there's the way that they got their promotion, their visa for their work visa situation for all of these wrestlers is that they had a deal with a Texas promotion called, I'm trying to pull up the fucking story while I talk slowly, like if I'm reading into a teleprompter, but it's not coming up as fast as I'd like.
Want the WON link?
No. I got it here. So it's a Texas pro wrestling company called Full Blown Pro Wrestling. So they basically sponsored the group visas for CMLL, and they got a call. The owner of that company got a call from the government, who said, "Hey,
always a wonderful call to get.
We have an issue with your fucking with your visas. Like, I guess we heard that they're being used. Like, they weren't able to confirm the issue, but it was an issue, and he was told that he could be charged with fraud.
Fraud, yeah.
If these wrestlers were no longer working with him, but they were using their visas to work in America. So essentially, someone tipped off the United States government that the CMLL guys were working on television using work visas that they got from another company. It's a very crucial time for CMLL right now, as they were really hot on fire in an underground level last year, and now this year they're back exploding. Like, they're exploding on American television, and they were exposing other young wrestlers and their older wrestlers to a newer audience. It's a really big deal. However, some people felt slighted by this.
Somewhat historically relevant, as well as historically speaking, AAA has pretty much always been the one with their foot in the United States scene.
Yeah.
Jesus.
They had the first dibs with AEW.
Yeah.
And I would argue that,
but also,
I was gonna say, in the entire time AAA has had a partnership with AEW, they never did something as effective as what CMLL has done with AEW in the past few months. They sent over guys and they strapped Kenny Omega. Like, Kenny never even wore a belt on television, and I still don't know how it works. I assume I don't know how they're able to wear it sometimes and not, but I imagine there's a legal reason for it. But probably something to do with the trademark of the design. But
we use Vikingo a lot.
That's just me guessing, right? that was like the most AAA got out of that, and they send Vikingo over to lose sometimes. Like, this CMLL partnership kicked off with a bang. We're introducing the stars of CMLL, and you think, like, what's going on? And they immediately start an interpromotional rivalry war, like, with three of the top wrestlers on the planet. Like, holy shit! Okay, that is
ironically, this is a rare situation where TNA books something better than anybody else.
Well, the AAA partnership.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, so just to get the rest of the context out, he gets the call from the government.
Lots to unpack.
And they tell him that, he could be charged with fraud. So he contacts CMLL, and CMLL tells him, "We're going to deal with it. we're gonna talk to the. They said they're gonna talk to the United States Embassy in Mexico about dealing with the visa situation. However, the United States Embassy does not have anything to do with visas. So what the fuck were they talking about? Visas come from the Department of
Absolutely
Homeland
fucking
Security.
nothing.
Visas come from the Department of Homeland Security. So what were they telling this poor man? Like, ultimately, they stopped responding to him. What the fuck, man? And so he calls the government and he's like, I don't want anything to do with this shit. Like, I don't want to go to jail. Turn it off. I gotta turn it off. So they do. They cut it. They cancel the visas. And as of today or yesterday, February 28th, they were no longer in effect. So 20 wrestlers who I think I have a list somewhere. Okay. It's Volador Jr., Hechicero, Máscara Dorada, Blue Panther, Dulce Guardiana, El Sagrado, El Suicida, Electrico, Espíritu Negro, Furia, Fuegas. There's a lot of other wrestlers that I actually can't read their name.
Yeah,
but this
I joked. I joked about the one guy there, where I was just like, yo, if we just booked Metalik, it's the same fucking thing.
That's fucking bull. That's fucked up. Well, to certain people, they're all just Rey Mysterio. So
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like Metalik was Máscara Dorada. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. So I mean, this puts a damper on the entire AEW Forbidden Door situation, as it's in June, and I don't think that it's possible to get all these visas back in effect. But unless they spend a lot of money, which is
not without some money and some past favors.
Yeah, and it's like, man, I know how much this is factored into the plans for the rest of the year, for the first half of the year at least. And it's, if you're really leaning on it, then I can imagine sparing no expense to get it done. But you have to ask yourself, like, do I want to continue? It's fucked up because these wrestlers are so fucking talented and they're so hot right now and they're having such great matches. But it's like, there's a history of fucking CMLL and AAA and fucking bullshit paper fucking toilet business practices. Like, and
especially on the international level.
It is so fucking it's so fucking stupid to me to see this, to see that this is why this big ass deal in America fell apart for them, because of some bullshit backwater fucking deal that they did not care to take care of. They thought they were above that shit or something. Some dirty ass arrogance behind what just happened here. This is fucking.
Or in the famous words of Keith David, they thought they had friends on the other side.
They did. They thought they had people. They thought, get this shit, they thought they had people in the embassy that can help them. But the fucking embassy doesn't deal with visas. So what did you think? Like, what were you doing? Why did it have to be such underground bullshit? Why is it always underground fucking garbage?
Like, nobody wants to sound terrible or racist, but it's just it's like you're looking at them on the other side, just going like, did you think it was the same thing?
Like, how did we get here? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. It's.
I'm also an asshole about this sort of subject, because, like, when I hear about some of the stories that have gone on with legalities in Lucha Libre, I just think these people don't know how lawyers work.
I don't think they care. That's the thing. They don't care.
Maybe
something they
not.
don't know is that they don't care. I mean, they don't give a fuck.
Well, no, they care when it happens to them, right?
Wait, now you care. Oh shit. Yeah. We're in trouble.
Because like nobody cares until AAA is just like, yo, dog, we own your gimmick, and they're like, you do?
Shit. You're right. I didn't know you can legally own anything here. You act like we do. You act like we can't.
You know, I always thought the La Parka thing was so stupid. Like, what do you mean you thought you owned it?
Yeah, it's
They gave it. It was their idea. What part of you owning that? Like, well, I wore the costume. So
it's a fucking bullshit. It's a shame. It's a damn shame because it was one
yeah,
of my it was one of my favorite things happening on television right
yeah.
now, and I was really looking forward to seeing where it ended up and what they were doing, and
Yes.
so
If anybody needs an analogy, by the way, even though it's maybe it's a little bigger than that. Like it's almost like somebody saying it's like Chris Evans saying I wore the suit for freaking 5 years, 10 years. I am Captain America now. It belongs to me. Like no, it's not how it
no, sir, give it back.
works.
Oh, I guess I'll be El Capitano from now on. But yeah, no, I'm disappointed as fuck. I hate that this happened. But part of me is like, this is just a lesson. Like, of course this was gonna happen. Of fucking course. But you know what? Of course this was gonna. You know what else? Of course somebody was gonna snitch. Of course
I was
somebody was
gonna
gonna
say,
call the government.
I was gonna say, is this sabotage, John?
It's sabotage. There's no. Come on, Greg. Come on,
I'm
Greg.
asking the question for you know,
There's no fucking universe.
performative reasons.
There's no universe where this wasn't just calling the government saying, I heard that they're on television with visas and they're not supposed to
Is
be.
this wrestling sabotage?
It's wrestling sabotage. I'm pretty sure like it's a AAA thing. Like I have
Okay.
no doubt in my mind that they were tipped off and they said, yes, we're gonna get those motherfuckers for taking our spot. Because that's how they feel. They've got the motive. They've got the motive. They've got the info because of course that Lucha grapevine is gonna spill that shit out in their direction.
I feel like there was this. I feel like there's a joke here about there being the unspoken rule, and like no, AAA works America, CMLL works Japan. This was the deal we made with our forefathers.
At first, I was gonna blame Triple H. I was like, "You son of a bitch!" But no, but it made sense that it's Conan, and I was like, "Ah, yeah, it
Well,
definitely
no,
was
I
Conan."
do like the I do like the idea. You know why? It's such an American idea. I love the idea that like Triple H called it in. He's like, you got to destabilize the country, and then you go in.
Oh my god, he was trying to give freedom. He was trying to give freedom to CMLL because he heard they had oil. So he realized that their government is bad now.
You destabilize you destabilize the industry, and then you save it.
I'm in. That's fucking
WWE Super Astros.
So we'll see where it goes from here.
Or whatever their old lucha show was.
I don't know if AEW should go through the trouble of spending all the money to get this done. And it's just like, damn, because then what the fuck? Then what happens when they fuck up again because somebody forgot they had a warrant out for their arrest or some stupid shit like that? You know, like it's always some dumb
but also like
bullshit.
Like I know it's a big event. At least we have historically built it up to be a big event. And I know that to some degree you want to branch out from it just being the New Japan show. But I almost started going, is it worth spending all that money for this one show?
You had to time down. You're like, let me tell you something. If I spend this fucking money, you're stuck. You're stuck. You're stuck. Not only are you legally stuck, I will go down there and hunt you down myself.
Like, no, you don't understand. Volador lives here now.
I'm taking 3 of them. No less. And I choose who.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you gotta get something out of that deal. It's not worth it to just for one show.
It's not worth it just because like we want to do this pay-per-view with guys that, you know, we have to literally introduce to the American audience anyway. Good lord.
Which they were doing a fine job of. People were getting excited for these wrestlers. And I mean, you had some assholes who always act like the contrarian and ask, like, you know, why didn't I get a video package? I know the other company's going to beat me over the head with it. But,
you know what, John? Let's talk about O'Shea Jackson.
Did we not talk about him last week? Could have sworn we gave him a lot of attention last week. Fuck him. No.
I don't even remember if we did, honestly.
No, we probably didn't. We probably didn't talk about it. I guess
Is there something to be said about the fact that there is a it's not just O'Shea Jackson. I think we all know that. There is a section of the fan base when it comes to a show like AEW who always finds themselves going, I feel like I am out of the loop and no one is helping me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
You
my
know?
camera died. Nice.
Yeah, I see that. You look like you're napping.
I fell asleep.
You know, it's like, why is nobody explaining to me why CM Punk is coming out to this other music? Why is
No, but
like,
here's the thing,
what-
like
why
every
isn't
time
the
they
company
say that
explaining-
shit, every
Yeah.
time they say that shit, I can be like, okay, well, if I watch it back, Excalibur's explaining it to me like in English, and then like it's right there. Well, no, that's not enough. Like, shut up, hold on, because you're having it, you're getting what you're asking for, but you don't like that. You don't like it that way. You want,
Yeah.
you want it the way you're used to it. What I'm hearing. You want videos. I want more.
You want
I
the video
wanna-
packages and the vignettes.
Yeah, and it's like,
You want you want 6 weeks of Alberto Del Rio telling you his name and that you already know that.
I can't take that shit. There's a part of me that wants to address that argument head on for
Veer is
real,
coming.
objectively, but like, let's be real. How come all the people who are saying this all come from the same camp? Like, they all come from the same general place of having a preference already, and that preference being the
Yeah.
WWE style, and then coming to the AEW show and going, why isn't it like that?
Yeah.
Go fucking watch that. Leave me
Why don't you make
alone.
those Why don't you make those hamburgers I like, Pizza Shop?
Get the fuck out of here. Like, serious. That's always been my thing. Like, at this point, I don't even feel any need to hold your hand, because I feel like if you cared, you wouldn't have to ask the question. You would just do it. If I cared about these CMLL guys, so I looked them up. But that's me. That's just me, I guess. But it's not just me. Like, I see a lot of people who also care. They also do the same thing. And if we can do it, why can't you? So why do I have to lose what I enjoy because you're fucking stupid? That's kind of how I feel about it. That's where I am with it,
Sure.
really. Like that.
I think
And if
it's
I'm
interesting
wrong,
that there are. I
was
think
gonna
it's
say, if I'm
interesting that
wrong,
there
let
are
me know.
people who are very much upset. I think it's interesting that there are people who are very much upset about the idea that they are expected to already know who the Mexican guys are.
But I didn't feel that, because like this is the
It's
first
just like
time
I
where-
had no idea who Hechicero was until he was like, he's gonna wrestle Bryan Danielson. Like, okay.
Exactly. And I didn't know why that was a dream match or anything. I was like, well, why is this guy gonna wrestle? And then I looked it up, and I looked up these fans and what they say, and I looked up videos, and I said, oh, it turns out he's one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet. I didn't even know. Where was he hidden?
I didn't even do
That's-
any of that. I just watched the match. I think I saw Joseph Montecillo make some comment about like he's a very good technical wrestler. I was like, okay, we'll see.
And he was great. He was doing a whole lot of different shit I'd never seen before, and I was like, man, I love this guy. I'd like to see more of him. And so my thing has always been, if I can do it, why can't you? Like, that's where I am with it. If you can't, and if you don't enjoy this, then please leave. And it's like, just get out of my office. Like, get out of my way. What are you trying to take this from me for? Has always been my thing. I almost get offended now. I'm starting to feel like you're attacking me.
I think it's very interesting how often the reaction to a new face in pro wrestling is, well, who the fuck is this guy? Instead of just like, oh, who's this guy? Like, there doesn't seem to be a level of, there isn't a curiosity to that question as much as there is a contempt to it. If you understand what I mean.
It's just mockery. It's not real.
Yeah.
Like, these people don't care. That's what I mean. They don't care. When O'Shea Jackson goes on his fucking show and he says, anytime I ask, all the AEW fans say, "Why don't you Google it?" Like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, there. First of all, no. Like, the way the world works is that your statement is factually incorrect and could never be correct because all the AEW fans do not share a hive mind. I am sure that your past statements about AEW makes your fucking current questions seem ingenuine. They don't seem like you actually care. It seems like you're being another one of those guys that says, "Who the fuck is this? Who cares? Why isn't the company beating me over the head with 16 vignettes?" Is not a question I want to take seriously. And I have no interest in giving these people reasons. Ultimately, my thing is that's the way it is. That's the way it's been. And now that I'm experiencing it for the first time as a person who doesn't know anything about those wrestlers, and I'm seeing how easy it is for me to get into them, I don't have no sympathy for these fucking people. I have none.
I also think the general architecture of his mission statement is interesting. Whereas he in his mind, right? He's a guy who he wants AEW to succeed and just thinks they need to do these things as a business. It just so happens that all these references are built by the WWE machine because it's the only one, pretty much his generation has ever known.
It's this thing. It's kind of this thing where it's like it's what you say. It's part of what you say where this is just what he's used to, and this is what he thinks success is.
It's like saying if you opened a burger shop, it's like you should run your burger shop like McDonald's because they're the only ones that make the money.
Yeah, like you want to be like them, don't you? Like actually,
Yeah.
I have no interest in being like them. There's no want for that, and I don't want that. Like I don't want that as a fan, dog. I don't want to see AEW do the things that makes WWE successful because these people claim they should reach out.
In fact, we spent several episodes talking about how it seemed like they spent a year and a half doing that.
And it sucked. It stunk. I hated it. They lost themselves. They lost their identity. They weren't who they had been. And I had no interest in that. And I don't know. People put that on MJF, but that's not on him. All right,
No, it's not on him. He didn't book the fucking show.
Yeah. But yeah, that's ultimately been my thing. Because now there's this. That's the battle cry for these people. It fucking kills me. I have no issue. I have no want or need to, like I said, engage them at all. So fuck them. Fuck them all. Beyond that, there was one more. Basically, it was basically tied to that conversation where there was someone online who said, he basically tweeted like, AEW did not reignite. Like, there's a lot of people that always say like AEW made me watch wrestling again, and the guy was like, that's impossible. Like, there's just no way. And I thought to myself, like, you snot-nosed child, you little fucking boy, you sweet summer baby. Like, you did not live through the fucking winter that was like late 2000s, early 2010s fucking main event American pro wrestling. You didn't live through this shit. Because if you did, you would never say something that fucking dumb. We had lived through WWE at its creative lowest. They used to fucking punch you down on the fucking face for even wanting better. Triple H would make fun of you. What are you gonna do? Go online? And people thought that was effective heel work. And then
me and my friend Mark
stopped watching the show. So me and my friend Mark did stop fucking watching WWE, and we did go online, and we did have something to say, and we did move away from that shit because it's stunk.
And then to be so pointed, for a brief moment, the show did get interesting, and then they punished you for liking it.
How dare you? We didn't mean to give you this. We wanted to give you this, and you need to like this.
I don't care how you feel about him. I don't care how you feel about him. The bludgeoning of the Summer of Punk was just terrible business.
There's so many. I could name a million fucking things, a million reasons why I hated WWE at the time. And I mean, there was times I would just watch because it was the only American company on cable television, and it's all anybody in the fucking fandom wanted to talk about. So I had to watch this shit. But I would watch New Japan, and I'd watch Ring of Honor, and I'd watch PWG, and I'd watch all these outside wrestling companies, and this would be my home. Like that's where I lived in wrestling.
I wanted to add, it didn't help that like for over time, a lot of your favorites would just end up there.
That's what I mean. So I watched those companies,
and a certain level of loyalty, like you're following Bryan Danielson over to the fucking WWE, even though the show sucks, because you want Bryan Danielson to succeed.
Beyond just sucking, it's like I'm watching these outside wrestling companies now, and this is where my heart is, and this is where my home is. So now all these wrestlers that I love now, the only fucking place where they can go to succeed is like this. They have to walk through a portal where they transform from a fucking awesome ass wrestler into a cartoon character. And I have to watch this guy who I loved be a cartoon character with flashes of what I enjoyed. And I'm told I have to appreciate that shit. So it's like, fuck.
I liken it to a comment. I liken it to a comment that Lance Storm has made where he said when he signed the WCW deal, he was prepared to check his passion at the door. Like, this is a job now.
That's what it was for everyone. And it's like, oh, wow, this guy's coming to WWE. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Life with a second American major pro wrestling company has been wonderful. Even when they're not at their best, they are still my preferred wrestling company. It's their very existence makes me happy because you can take a guy like Will Ospreay and be like, man, I fucking love Will Ospreay. I love the way he wrestles. I want to see him wrestle on a bigger stage. And now he doesn't have to go through the portal to become a cartoon character. He can make the same amount of money while still being Will Ospreay. That makes me so happy as a wrestling fan. That shit fulfills me. I love AEW for that reason. I thought I saw that fucking comment and I thought, you stupid son of a bitch, you just cannot know. Like, you can't understand. You have to be a child, because if you weren't, you would have witnessed, you would have known, you would have not said something so incredibly uneducated. So I mean, moving on from that,
I actually have, when you said it, I had this like vision in my head where like the repackaged version of him in NXT is just like it's probably just like William something, but they refer to him as the Ospreay because it's a real thing.
William Wright, because of the Wright brothers and they're flying.
The Ospreay, right? William Wright.
The Ospreay.
Yes.
William Wright.
Yes.
Yeah. God
you
fucking damn it. I
notice how easy it was for you.
My blood boils even thinking about it. I can't. It's like, fuck you.
Or better yet, William Hawk.
No, God. I was thinking of going in that direction because it's a bird, right?
Not only that, but that's what an osprey is.
I hate
the osprey, also called the sea hawk, the river hawk, and fish hawk.
William Fish Hawk
is a fish eating bird of prey. So like, yeah, he'd be William Hawk, or the Osprey, William Hawk.
That's his real name, right? Will Ospreay.
I have no idea.
I've never looked that up. Anyway, Sting is retiring this week, and I'm not gonna lie. It hadn't really sunk in.
Yeah.
And then I saw like this video.
Wikipedia claims his real name is William Peter Charles Ospreay.
Oh wow, Peter Charles. Isn't that like isn't that like a government person, like a
royalty name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know.
Sure. No, I think there's two of the royal family that are Peter and Charles.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know very much about them except for that they come from an evil incest bloodline. But Sting is retiring.
What you know is that one married a black woman and then left.
and they got mad at him for it. Like, how dare you? He was like, let me tell you something. Have you ever tasted chocolate? You motherfucker. How dare you disrespect our family? No, man. How dare you disrespect me? You tried to keep chocolate from me all my life.
They are the royal version of Cody and Brandy.
She's like half white too. They couldn't take it. They were like, oh God, no. God, no. But yeah, Sting is retiring this week.
Yes, he is.
And I hadn't really thought about it until now. It's really over. He's really done, and I believe him when he says he's not coming back.
Do you?
I do. Something about he seems so grateful for this second chance. I don't think he's going to throw it away.
And I think even more so to end it his way.
Like entirely his way. But they have given him everything. They had to force a belt on him because he didn't want it. Like, bro, please. One.
Like, I don't need to be a champion. Like, it's not for me. I'm fucking 60.
They're like, it's not for you. Like, it's for your fans. This one, you gotta give it to them. They are never gonna see you again. And it makes sense. I'm sure when you think about it like that, like, you know what? It's a gift to them. Why not?
I remember ECW and Noah did something really cute where they're like,
did you say ECW and Noah? Did they exist?
Not together. They both did this thing, but at the same time, not together.
I was gonna say because you made me realize that they existed simultaneously for 1 year. And there could have
technically
been
true. Yes,
they could have been a crossover.
When Terry Funk had his retirement show, he got like a lifetime ECW like lifetime championship.
Oh shit, that's really cool. That's
like
really
a lifetime achievement award, basically. And I think Noah did the same thing for Kobashi because Kobashi inexplicitly has a GHC championship belt for his retirement match.
I was gonna say in the retirement match, he does come out wearing a fucking belt. You're right.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think that's what I think that's what that was. I think it was just like the fucking GHC like lifetime championship. You know, here's this belt as a commemoration of your entire fucking career type thing.
Yeah. I would like to see them give Sting a belt like that actually on Sunday. That would not bother me at all.
That's sort of what I was moving towards. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a cute idea.
Tony, did you have this ready? Like, do we have time? Could you get this done? I mean, could you just get a replica? Can we do that?
I was gonna say you could technically just get a replica because it like both the Terry Funk and Kenta Kobashi belts are just the actual world championship.
They could do because they have the side plate belt now. They can put little
There's
scorpions
also that as well,
on the side. Put little scorpions on the side. It's a Sting belt.
Yes.
So yeah, man.
Then he can take it to all his signings.
God, that's so sad. I don't think I don't see Sting as that kind of guy, but he will. You almost have to. Like, that's just expected. This is convention behavior. This is convention behavior. Yeah. You have to do this. But just looking back on, just his career, obviously, like, he's not dead, but it does kind of feel like it's a goodbye. Like, it's a goodbye. He's not dead. I don't want to. It's gonna sound like we're fucking mourning him, and it's like
I think the end of a character. I think the end of a character in any creative space feels like a death.
And it almost is. Like, this is the end of Sting. Like, he's going to peacefully lay down and fade away.
Yeah, like, I think that's why it usually has such a strong reaction. Maybe this is a silly comparison to some people, but like when Friends ends after 7 years or 8 years or whatever, like it feels like a death because these people are gone forever now.
Yep.
And
so I'm a big why guy. Like, I look back and I'm like, why do I care? Because I mean, if I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, his biggest years happened before I was really watching, but then I'm like, no, that's not true at all. His second life his second life after WCW was just as significant as his original Sting Crow run, if not, even if it
TNA
didn't
years?
the TNA years, and not just the TNA years, but just this whole thing, and capped off by the AEW run, which is hands down my favorite Legends wrestling run of all time.
Really?
This is 100%. I wasn't around for the Bob Backlund run, the Ric Flair
Do we
run.
count the Shawn comeback?
No, absolutely not, because then you
Okay.
have to count.
Okay.
Then you have to count the Bryan comeback, and if you count the Bryan comeback, then that blows all the rest of them out of the water. So no,
So
we
how?
can't.
So like, what's the barometer for the?
Because he's an
old
old ass man coming back for a run. Bob Backlund was like 50 something when he won the
Maybe.
championship again from like Kevin Nash,
Maybe.
and they
No,
it's an
Nash
old
took the
ma-
belt from him.
Oh yeah, reverse.
He beat-
Backlund took it
he beat
from Brett. Yes, 100%. But anyway, an old man run like the Ric Flair run, like Hulk Hogan coming back to not the first WWE run, not the second one, the Shawn Michaels stuff, and then the TNA run. That's an old man run. The Ric Flair stuff, obviously old man run. Undertaker, I don't know when his old man run started.
See, that's weird, right? Because he never stopped.
Because he didn't stop, but it was a clear at a certain point. This isn't.
He just, yeah, he's just old now.
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, when did he stop? There has to be like a WrestleMania where he just stopped coming back afterwards. Like he was like, "Oh shit, is he not been here for a year? Is it the CM Punk? Is it the CM Punk match?
No,
it might be earlier than that. It might be the Triple H
I
match.
think it's earlier than that. Yeah.
Yeah, by the Triple H match, he was still coming. He was coming around once a year. Not the Shawn, not 2010, because he still had been on SmackDown and he still had a feud with Kane for the world title and all that shit. 2011.
Is it 24 where he beats Edge for the belt?
Yes. 24. Everything after 24 is an old man run, you think? That's a little much.
No. I'm trying to like logic it, because like, okay, he beats Edge for the belt, so he's clearly still an active wrestler when he beats Shawn.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to figure out. It might be, it's closer to like the Shawn retirement match and the first Hunter match, I think.
Yeah.
When he starts to realize he doesn't come back around.
The first Hunter match might be the one, because that's the one where he gets
It might
killed.
be.
Like Triple H basically beats the shit out of him, but he pulls out the win at the end like a squeaky win.
Yeah, hit the fucking Hell's Gate, right?
Yeah. And then he doesn't come back for a while. That's probably the beginning of the old man run, and it started off.
And then he has a haircut.
That's the haircut. When he comes back with the haircut, that's it. Everything
That's the old
after
man
that.
run, the haircut.
Yeah, there it is. We've identified the beginning of the old man Undertaker run, and
gotcha.
listen, for all it is. Sometimes the Sting and the Undertaker run to me are like the two sides of the coin of what could happen. Like the Undertaker took it too far. He pushed it until he was way past his expiration date. And for me personally, as a fan, it chipped away at his legacy. For me, like it chipped away of how I thought of him. It made for me. I have not been able to look at him the same for a while now, because there was just a point where I was just begging for it to end. I felt like he disrespected me as a fan. Just I'm like, okay, this is it. Okay, the streak is over.
I
This
wouldn't
is it.
say that.
Okay, he's
but
coming.
yeah.
Please stop doing this to me. Like, literally, leave the memories alone. Like, stop. Like, it's just like you're rebooting
I
this
get
thing. I don't want to see it anymore. Please, you're hurting me. I've never been able to look at him the same. I'm sorry.
If I had to like draw a line at it, I think I don't start getting like truly worried about him until some ways after the Bray Wyatt match.
That's about after WrestleMania 34. So yeah. Nah, I think about the streak. I was like, is he retiring? This should be
after
it.
34. No.
30, 31 is Bray Wyatt?
That's 30. Yeah.
Okay, why did I say 34? 34,
I
he was
have no
already
idea.
done the Roman match and the false retirement, which was yet another thing that chipped away at his fucking
That one was
legacy
weird.
career.
Yeah, that one
The
was weird.
false retirement. God damn it.
That was the weird part for Undertaker for me. Because like the two Shawn matches are spectacular. The two Triple H matches I think are great in their own right. Like Hunter is obviously a completely different worker, and their chemistry is completely different. But I think they're still. I think him and Triple H still have two very good matches. You know what I mean?
They absolutely do. I enjoy them both.
I'll even argue that the second Hunter match is helped by Shawn's presence.
A great story.
It was. I think the Punk match is great. And then, as someone who literally just watched it, the Lesnar match is ruined by the fact that he got a concussion 90 seconds in, and Lesnar is literally wrestling a corpse for most of that match.
I don't know if,
no pun intended, with him being the Undertaker. No, like he's literally wrestling a dead body.
I don't know if the Lesnar match is where I began realizing, like, oh God, like I hate this now, because it wasn't that.
No,
I just remember thinking, like, okay, the streak is over. This is probably a good place to end it, and then he didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. We're just gonna.
And then he has the Bray Wyatt match, and the Bray Wyatt match is fine. Like, I don't think there's any point in the Bray Wyatt match where I'm just like, okay, this dude's fucked up. And now I'm noticing there's a blank spot. Does he even do WrestleMania 32?
32. Oh, is that the John Cena one?
Cena thing.
Yeah, where he doesn't have a match and then
squashes him.
Yeah, he kills him in 4 minutes. That's fucking dumb. That was stupid.
That might be. Yeah, especially because like I always thought a WrestleMania match with those two would have been massive.
And then the 33 is the one where
the Roman Reigns match is the one where you're in pain watching him.
Because I was in pain watching the match. Like, I wanted this to end. By this point, I wanted this to end, and it seemed like it would. And I thought that he understood that. And we all did. 30,000 fucking people, 60,000 fucking people in that arena crying for this man. Like, oh man, it's finally over. This is great. And he comes back and wrestles like 10 more fucking matches. Dude, fuck you. And he's not even like it's not even like a Ric Flair where like, oh man, he's got no money. Oh no. It's just like a complete fucking failure to let go. This is not for me.
No, the Cena squash is after 33.
It's 34.
Yes.
Fucking garbage.
What did he do at 32? I don't remember. Was he on the fucking card?
I don't even remember. 32 is the star, right? The big fucking Dallas show.
No! Oh God! No, I know why I don't remember it, because I don't want to.
Because you erased it. Oh no! Don't curse me with it. Don't curse me with this knowledge.
Oh, it's Shane.
Oh, that's right. You know he was in the old man run, because at this point they're just like randomly.
My God. They're just looking for reasons for Undertaker to show up for WrestleMania.
You're gonna fight my son. Like, I didn't even know you were cool with him like that. Like, when did this happen? Like,
why is Undertaker taking orders from Vince?
Did you pay? Does he pay you? Like, what just happened? Yeah, it was rough. So that being said, like, that really chipped away at the way I thought of the Undertaker, and it made me. It kind of took him a little bit. It took him out of contention for my. I think he fell out of my top 10. I think he was in the top 10, top 15, and he definitely fell away. He fell the fuck out of there. I was like, goodbye. Okay. I'm sorry. You have to go. You've ruined this for both of us. But on the other side of that coin, you have Sting. Here's Sting with just the most perfect fucking utilization of an old man that I've seen almost ever. I loved it. I don't know who to give credit for it. Like Tony Khan, Sting, Darby.
Ooh, here's a good one. Not to get back off topic. Does Goldberg an old man run?
Yeah, Goldberg's an old man run. Absolutely. I mean, he
That's
left
not
for
the
like
worst
40
old man
years.
run.
He squashed Bray Wyatt, and at that, and you know what? I could
Listen,
not.
you can
I
hate
couldn't
that as
live
a
with that shit.
hate that as a booking decision, but
No,
like,
no. I can hate that as a Goldberg decision because he was so intent on being a superhero who slayed a monster that they sacrificed a whole ass Bray Wyatt for him, and Kevin Owens, Oh no. Hell no. There's no, because you know what? You know when they
wasn't
offered Sting a
Jericho
title?
involved in that?
Yes, it was part of the reason why he left. When they offered Sting a championship, do you know what they had to do? They had to force him to take that shit. And it was only for like 2 weeks. They offered Goldberg championships, and I'm sure I wouldn't even be surprised if he was part of the pitch. You understand? Hey, I just feel like if I squash him, I would look real strong in front of my son. Like, I don't give a fuck about your son, Goldberg. Fuck you and your son, actually. Like, he derailed. Anytime he fucking stepped in the ring in a major match, he derailed that shit.
Did you get a kick out of Bobby Lashley just bringing the fuck out of his
That
kid?
was beautiful. I thought that was amazing. I loved that, actually. But no, look at Sting, man. He came in and he was like, Sting has never lost in AEW, right? Sting does not feel like he's been beating young guys and overstaying his welcome and taking shit that he shouldn't and derailing stories that shouldn't be derailed.
It helps that it's all in the tag division.
It's all in the tag match, but it's all in the tag division, but it's usually stories where he should win because the heel's being a piece of shit or whatever. Like, it's just been booked in a way where it's been entirely effective. Like, it's not in the way of anything. It's not fucking anything up. It is always good to watch. I think there have been times where towards the end where we're like, oh my God, like Sting is really like, please stop doing this. Like, oh my God, like this is scary. But he's never come out of there fucking hurt. He's never coming. I mean, obviously bruises, and I think they busted his lip once. But he's never come out of there to the point where the performance was so hard to watch, and I can't believe I need him to retire. Like, no, it's been, like I called it, it's been effective. It's been so effective. It's gotten Darby, it's given Darby this next level to him. Like, he was Sting's son. He was Sting's son at the end of his career. Like, that was Sting's boy. That's baby Sting. If Sting didn't have sons get in, like, that's his legacy right there. The other little painted up freak. Like, it's my boy.
Does the 8 months at WWE hurt his old man run for you?
The 8 months at WWE actually make the AEW run stand out even more, because that could have been it. That was his fate. That was the end of the line. He had his horrible ending. They fucked him.
Powerbomb in the corner.
The whole thing, the whole WWE run was just a mistake, was a bad run. He came in, nice debut, shit creative, shit WrestleMania, shit Seth Rollins kills him. He decides, I'm retired. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm done. And even back then, he knew better than to continue beyond his expiration date. I don't want to be back here. Like, I'm done. As a matter of fact, ow, my back. This morning I woke up, I couldn't even walk. I don't want to be here anymore.
It was his neck.
Yeah, no, actually, my neck is broken. I'm going home. And he came back and he was able to have a rebirth in AEW. Like, it was like a complete retcon. Like, that WWE run didn't fucking happen. That shit, a bump in the road. We don't think about it. He made his name. He made his name without that machine. For fucking,
people still so mad about that Triple H match.
It's garbage. It was a garbage move, and it was a complete transparent final death nail to WWE from to WCW from Vince and them, and it was a joke, and I'm sure it was like a sick.
Wait, have you heard Sting talk about it?
I haven't. I haven't. I don't even know if I want to hear him cope. I'm sure he has nice things to say or whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't know. I don't know if I would say nice things. I vividly remember, unless I fabricated this my own damn self. I vividly remember Sting saying he had every thought and intention of the Triple H match being the last one. And at that point, you go back to your old teachings, and it's like you end on your back.
That's probably what allowed him to agree to it. However, I don't believe that he said, "Hey, Hunter, I have this idea where I go out on my back." And Hunter was like, "Hell yeah, bro. I fucking promise you." Look at the way that shit was booked. You think Sting booked it so that the DX
Well, no,
could get the final?
I'm not going to argue that he booked the whole DX NWO.
No, but I mean, like, there's no, but
so
I mean,
many
look
things
at the
wrong
way.
with that.
No, but I mean, if you look at the way that they booked it, that is the evidence that I need to tell me their mindset and the way things turned out. Like, I'm sure Sting was like, "Fuck it, this is my last match. I'm just gonna lose anyway, so whatever. It doesn't bother me."
Yeah.
But in their minds, this was that this was that last laugh, you know.
And typically the sell there is to say like, "Oh, it like, I couldn't beat you one-on-one. It took all this bullshit."
Nah, get the fuck out of here. That shit was garbage. It was a disgrace almost. I wouldn't go. I guess I would go that far. Especially considering how it turned out now, knowing that it could have been something significant, like a legendary ending for a legendary kid, for an icon. But it's WWE, and he wasn't their creation. He literally, his whole existence, minus what was that, like less than a year, 10 months? Minus those 10 months, his whole existence is outside of WWE.
Only 4 matches.
I think that's another layer to what makes me love him so much. Like, he had this whole incredible Hall of Fame career, and it didn't need WWE. He did it in the Outliers. He did it obviously in the beginning. WCW was not an outlier, and NWA was the biggest fucking company. But it was the most prestigious. And WCW was a pretty fucking big deal in the 90s. But beyond that, the Joker Sting, Showtime, the things that he did in TNA to keep himself relevant outside of the WWE without the machine, it's very, very the spirit of AEW when it first started.
Yes.
It's so appropriate that he was able to come to AEW and have this run. And even the day that he arrived, right? And there was no rumor. There was nothing. He appeared out of smoke. Like, it was perfect. The debut was perfect. There was no thought. Nobody in their fucking right mind would have said Sting is debuting tonight on AEW Dynamite. It's just impossible to even imagine. As a matter of fact, I remember thinking it was Glacier. Legitimately thinking they brought Glacier out for a stupid angle.
Oh, because Winter is coming.
And then it ended up being Winter is coming and Winter is Sting. And Sting is coming to AEW. Yeah. It was fucking awesome. Perfect.
And
perfect.
Then they made Tony Schiavone a meme.
Yeah, he did it to himself, but it was fine. It was just a perfect entrance, and it was like it established what will go on to be his whole run. Like, it told a story. He came in, he said, "I'm adopting you. I can fight someday if you stick around long enough," which he doesn't. But I'm adopting this child. He like comes in, he looks at Darby's one face, he looks at the other side of the face. I think I made this. I'm taking responsibility for this. That's a story for the next 3 years. I found my son, and I took responsibility for him, and I raised him, and then I left. That's fucking beautiful, man. Oh man, God. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, I want to add that there's something to be said about the good he did for no matter what you want to say about where they are now. There's something to be said about the good he did for TNA, because Sting is the only reason they got the Spike TV deal.
Yep.
To the point where Spike TV footed some of the bill for Sting because TNA knew they couldn't afford it. And that's just like, that's there's not many times you can pointedly point to like for want of a better term, where you can explicitly point to something where like this guy's name helped the company.
Yeah. It's
Sting's name helped get them on a better channel.
100%. It's, how do I put this in a way that doesn't, in a diplomatic way? his ability to remain relevant without any real machine is what puts him above people who needed the machine to stay to be on his level or to even be close. You're literally standing on blocks that somebody built for you, and you still can't reach his height. You know what I mean? Like, he's standing there. Those are his real legs. You know, like he did that. He grew that. That's him. I love AEW for being that kind of company, and I love Sting for being that kind of wrestler. And I just think being able to witness this last run live and then with my son, like, wait a minute, what the fuck, bro? Like, my version of Sting was the end of what I thought the end of Sting. I thought Joker Sting was like his last run. Like, I thought the TNA run would be the end. And then I thought the WWE run would be the end. So to be able to experience Sting fucking at the end of his career now with my kid, this is like some wild shit.
I don't know if I ever put it into perspective in this sense before, but like the version of Sting you got to see with your kid is like like, oh shit, I'm sitting in this fucking tennis arena and I am watching Sting live as a 40-year-old who shouldn't be, by all practical expectations, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It shouldn't
like
have been.
Sting to be gone.
Yeah. Literally, we saw that he thought his career. They told us his career was over because he could not wrestle.
Yeah.
Like,
and only for him in his, let's be honest, in his progressively failing body to put on a banger of a match with FTR.
Over and over. Like, that was another thing. Like, it was clear that his body was deteriorating because just by being old, like, it wasn't like a bad, like, he's made it worse.
Deteriorating in Impact.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not to say like he's not in great shape, because I'm pretty sure Sting is probably still. I mean, I don't think he's gonna have the abs or whatever anymore, but I'm pretty sure he's taken care of himself very well.
Sure, but like you can see, you could even see an Impact where it's like he can't fucking like get down for the Scorpion Deathlock because I don't think his knees can do it.
I think he ended up I think his time away from wrestling too gave him a little second wind, a little boost,
probably
a little time to heal, and allowed him to do what he did. Because the other thing about this run is that he didn't even he didn't take almost any caution. He was like,
no,
this is my last run, and I'm gonna do all this shit. Some of this shit I'd never done before. What the fuck am I doing?
No.
I don't care. Fuck it. Let's go. It was weird.
Why am I giving Will Hobbs a Scorpion Death Drop off a platform through 2 tables?
It was so crazy seeing, because I don't know if this was the story that they were telling, but in hindsight, this is going to be the story. This is what it was, because the story's over now. This is it. The story was Sting and Darby finding each other and influencing each other. Like Sting influenced Darby to be
mostly Darby influencing Sting.
But then, like you said, Darby basically being Sting's fucking not cheering, because I'm pretty sure Darby's like, please don't do this. But Sting is like, it looks so cool. I want to try. So
you look like you're having so much fun, you fucking dummy.
I think you seem okay. And he's like, no, but I'm not. I'm not.
I wasn't okay when I got here, Sting. You don't understand.
You don't understand. It's hard to wake up in the morning, but I like it that way. You don't want this life. It's really been awesome. I find it because I lived through Joker Sting and AEW Sting. And I know this is recency bias, but it was so perfect.
I was not a fan of Joker Sting.
It was weird, but I thought it was interesting. You know what I didn't like about Joker Sting was that it was so soon after Heath Ledger Joker, so it felt like a direct derivative thing.
Sure.
Like there's no real thought being put into this. But looking back on it, like watching the Joker Sting video that TNA put out, I was like, this is not bad. Like this is not bad. I don't hate this.
Sure.
He basically did it with the Crow.
I guess there's I was gonna
with-
say, I guess the irony there is that like there's only 2 years between the Crow movie coming out and him doing the thing.
It's exactly that. So I can see the mindset of him going, let's try that again.
I just do the Joker thing.
And I like how it's come out in AEW, like a second, there's a personality that creeps under there sometimes. Like if you fuck with him, I can bring it out. You never know. Yeah. I'm fine. Like I said, I know this is my favorite old man run of all time. It just is. But I'm finding it hard not to call it like one of the better booked runs, period. Like it's just been, there's no stumble. I can't think of a time where I was like, they should not have done that with Sting. This sucks. Like the most I can think of is towards the end where I was like, you know, he looked really tired after that match. I think, you know, like that's about as bad as it got. It was pretty much perfect.
I just have time, so I'm just like, they should not let him do these dives.
Somebody needs to tell him
that man no.
I can't remember what match it was where the ladder was at the edge of the ring and he starts climbing it from like the outside, and I'm like, is he gonna take a fucking back bump to the outside? And I believed that he would, because he's done all these things that just should not have already.
I think he busts his lip open because
He does.
the aim was off and he takes a knee to his face.
Yep. So I'm gonna miss him, man. I'm just gonna miss him, and I think that like I was saying, this kind of reminds me of the WWE's Shield run, and one of those rare, just from start to finish, where I was like, man, I think y'all hit every nail on the head. Like you didn't fuck this up. Props. Big props to AEW. This is like one of the better things that they've ever done. Sting's run. That will be this is not just like good people always say like, oh no, AEW is only good wrestling. Like no, like this is a significant thing in pro wrestling history. They allowed the legend Sting to retire and bow out gracefully after a disgraceful previous retirement. That's a big fucking deal. I want to see books written about it. So the final, I guess, we have one final. We'll take 5 minutes to talk about Matt Riddle, but the final big thing is that we got some WrestleMania matches a lot more clear now. By the way, I missed fucking Dynamite. So I missed the moment, but Sting coming down from the rafters one last time. Come on. That is fucking excellent. Somebody said they should have saved it. Somebody said they should have saved it for the pay-per-view, but I think there's something appropriate about doing it on his final appearance on Turner Network on a weekly television show.
That's not the response I would have given that. I think you need to have the walk
for the pay-per-view,
for the retirement.
Yeah. I think because I think of all the times
you can't just have him like it's the big retirement match. We do the whole thing for Sting, like Sting just drops off the rafters. He's like, no, you have to have the walk. You have to like
soak it in.
You have to enjoy the moment, man.
There's also, but I just think of all the times that he just dropped into the middle of like the NWO and like all the Nitro moments where Sting just falls from the ceiling and at the perfect time, and that's what made it appropriate to do it on the weekly television show. Like this is his last ever regular weekly television appearance. I'm sure he'll show up again, but I think that was cool.
You know what sold it for me was he got the trench coat back.
He did. Well, I mean,
not
how
the fucking bomber jacket.
How else do you hide the fucking? You hide the harness.
The harness, yeah.
No, great
That's fair.
fucking moment. Excellent moment. I'm gonna miss the old man, and I can't wait for the pay-per-view on Sunday, which we will be doing a watch-along. I mean, not a watch-along. I'm sorry. Don't get
A
excited
review.
for that. A post-show review.
A post show.
Yeah, I'd like to watch the show on the big screen. No watch-along, please. So yeah, no, WrestleMania matches a little clearer, some surprises, others we kind of saw coming. AJ Styles versus LA Knight. I think we all kind of had a feeling, at least, that they were heading in that direction just based off of what they had already done.
I traveled 30,000 miles to call you a bitch.
I flew 18 hours to make sure you don't go to WrestleMania. I am a hater. So they set up AJ Styles versus LA Knight. They also set up Randy Orton versus Logan Paul. I didn't see that coming at all, honestly. I didn't. I thought they
Not
were
the match I
very.
expected. No.
They were almost very obviously doing like a Kevin Owens thing. So I'm actually really I'm still not convinced that it's Randy Orton versus Logan Paul straight up. I kind of have this feeling they're gonna insert Kevin Owens, but we'll see how that goes, because otherwise, what is Owens doing? Like, he was busy with Logan Paul. Like, they're doing an angle where he has anger management issues, and it's because of what happened to Logan Paul. Like, his own anger cost him that match. So now you would think that that's what they're going to do at WrestleMania, but we will see. Anyway, on top of that, Drew McIntyre is won an opportunity at the World
Championship. He played for this, and it happened.
They also did a thing with him where every single match last week he won because of someone else's interference. After he had been crying about interference costing him the world championship for years, so they did like he's a hypocrite now. I get that. He's a dirty, nasty heel. And then you finally have Becky Lynch, who I thought I had a photo of, but I guess I don't. Becky Lynch going to WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley.
I just wanted to note that it's the most obvious thing in the world, and granted they can always subvert. That's the thing they could do, but like it's the most obvious WWE TV in the world where you're just watching every Drew McIntyre segment is just setting up that CM Punk L.
Yeah. He's absolutely got to lose to CM Punk when Punk comes back, just based off all the shit he's been talking.
Yeah.
It'd be funny though if he actually just doesn't resign. He just leaves.
Oh Jesus.
That'd be great. I would love that, actually. I would laugh my ass off.
He just leaves the company like, nah, you can't have
I took all these shots and no receipt for you. See ya. Oh shit. Yeah, no, you deserve that. Fuck you. He's so it looks like McIntyre versus Rollins at WrestleMania, though. As we've said before, I don't know what they're going to be doing with Rollins and the Bloodline, but it's very obvious that they're still involved, because on the next night on Raw, Seth Rollins was asked by McIntyre, like, what is all this Bloodline shit? Like, you need to focus on me. And he's like, no, they continued the Bloodline thing. Like, he's very actively in the Cody Rhodes Bloodline story. So I assume that he will have a match on night one, and it'll be that tag match. But on this same
God, that is such a fucking indictment of the World Heavyweight Championship.
I mean, it already is, based on how they did it at that press conference. They're allowing the bigger world champion to call him second place and say, go play over there. And then Cody being like, no, I don't want that. I want this one.
I mean, I think that I'm okay with the Roman part. Like, yeah, obviously one champion would put down the other champion and say his is more important. It's when The Rock does it. It's when Cody has zero interest in you. It's
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's everything. Like, if Roman had said that, but it didn't appear to be the case, then fine, because he's just a heel and he'll say things that aren't true. But when Roman says something that's entirely true, it's like, fuck. Maybe don't say that for now. Maybe hold on for a second.
There's always that weird thing sometimes where it's just like, the heel shouldn't be right. It kind of hurts.
So Cody actually called out The Rock though, straight up, and he's like, "I want a one-on-one match," and it kind of feels like there's no like in my mind there's just no way like that's not happening, but okay. But I mean, it would probably be I would enjoy that more than the tag match, Cody and Rollins versus The Rock and Roman. I gotta honestly would for my personal taste, I'd enjoy Cody versus versus The Rock and then Cody versus Roman, but that doesn't doesn't really fit WWE's pattern history. And there's just been a lot laid down to tell me that it's the tag match. Like they've already put a lot of effort and clues that a tag match is coming. So that I'm pretty sure that's still the case. And then of course you got Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. That women's chamber match. That women's chamber match was really good. Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time. She's old. She was Australia loved Tiffany Stratton.
The rocket.
Fuck it. Just do it. She's really good. I think she showed out. It was a real breakout moment for her, and she took advantage, and it was everything you want. It was everything you want as a young wrestler. That was that's exactly what you needed to happen for her. So I'm happy for her. And beyond that, you also have the matches that we already know about: Roman versus Cody, Bayley versus Io. Bayley versus Io, kind of still being one of the better stories on SmackDown, and then not getting the attention it deserves from the company, which is it kind of sucks. And I sometimes it's so blatant that I'm like, is this like a story? Like, what are we doing? What are you doing? Like, why are you?
I know they're doing the whose side is Dakota Kai on.
She's apparently been cleared. She's going to be in a tag match with Bayley against Damage Control this Friday.
That's lovely.
And I'm pretty sure that'll be the moment where you know for sure what she's going to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if she should join Damage Control because then Bayley has nobody. But then at the same time, that is what the company likes to do. You get the babyface battling against all odds, walking into WrestleMania with no friends.
Odds.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that numbers game almost feels too much to beat.
Right? Like she should lose then if she's gonna get turned on.
Yeah.
But I thought this was funny. Matt Riddle becomes a TV champion in Japan and immediately does an interview with Ariel Helwani where he talks about how he popped for cocaine twice in the WWE. He talked about he was just oversharing.
Far more intelligent Dolph Ziggler does the interviews with nobody.
He's like, Dolph Ziggler won the title in Japan, and then he went to the back and he said, I told myself if I didn't win the title, I would retire. And I was like, whoa, you're fucking lucky Ghetto decided that this is where we should go. Because that would have sucked for you to retire because
I said it should have been me, and it finally was.
Good for him. Not good for Matt Riddle, though. I just feel like New Japan, the Japanese wrestling company, does not want one of their champions talking about how they do drugs in the internet.
Yeah.
I'll take a moment because maybe I actually haven't seen the clip and I've only seen the quote. So, I mean, I guess I want to see him. I want to see how he talks about it and see if there might be blowback. Although considering it's a Japanese company, I would imagine there will be.
The original offense, was it not public? Did people not know?
No, they didn't make any of the offenses public. I think they just wanted to keep it on the hush-hush, which I completely understand, you know. And they punished me. Like, I got fined. And then,
can I ask what it was for?
What?
The offense.
Well, I failed. Well, you're allowed to smoke weed. I went to the strip club and did some cocaine a couple times.
Okay.
He's fucking great.
That was the first one.
That was the first one. That was for all of them. It was cocaine each time. But it was honestly just random nights. And the first drug test I took, the WWE tests you randomly, say, any week. But sometimes you get tested, say, at the end of 1 month and the beginning of another month. So there was 1 week where I failed bang, bang, didn't know I failed the second one. And by the time I found out I failed the first one, I got two right at once.
Ah.
So I think that's why they were a little more lenient
Jesus
with me. Because like,
Christ.
hey, we tested you back to back. You failed both those tests.
Okay.
And I was like,
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
And I go, hey guys, I want to show you no more problems. Hey, you guys can test me for the next 10 weeks every week, whatever. And I did that and I was fine. Didn't fail one test, whatever, didn't do anything. But I thought I was in the clear, went out and partied a little bit, and they gave me a random test at my house and I failed that. And shortly after that, they had me go to rehab.
Okay. So
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, what do you say?
You would think the conventional logic would be like, hey, yeah, guys, look, I did a few months, I'll be, I did good, right? Like, yeah, you did good. Fantastic. Goes out and immediately does drugs. As if they aren't going to come back.
He's still on the radar. Like, he thought that right after he'd be fine. Like, no, dude, there's always
No.
a surprise after. They have to see if you're actually doing it now. Like, okay, you went through the
Like,
process.
they
fine.
know
Like,
you're going to purposely pass the first one.
yeah, obviously. Okay, you can test me for 10 weeks and we'll be fine. Like, they know you're gonna pass 10 weeks. You just told them you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's after
Like I
that
said,
you
like,
have to
yeah,
worry.
you put yourself on the radar. It's like, don't worry, like, I'm gonna pass your next test. Like, yeah. And then you're going to immediately do drugs. Like, we know how this.
Jesus. And then the way he says it, it's like, like you're basically telling
some
New
degree,
Japan that I will.
Yeah. I
go
might be a
to-
problem.
I might be an issue. I don't even have nobody drug testing me right now. So
Don't let me go to Hakito.
Jesus.
Fucking
So yeah,
Wapangi. Good lord.
that was a little rough because he seems like he's just a cool guy. I just want to say, and I have that issue sometimes too, but I'm smart enough to know when to say and what not to say. Ariel Helwani would never get that out of me. He would can I ask? Can I ask what it was? No, you can't fucking ask what it was. Get out of here.
You and
what are you talking about?
fucking Vito and Bradley Cooper need some better media training.
What the fuck was that about? What was he even saying? What the fuck was Bradley Cooper saying about his baby? Why was that a thing he felt the need to share with the world? Like, this dude can say, I gotta read the quote. The motherfucker said he struggled to connect with his daughter when she was born, but eventually grew to adore her. The first 8 months, I don't even know if I really love this kid. What the fuck, Bradley Cooper? What are you saying?
No, you left out the best line.
Oh, he's like, oh, I love taking care of it, but would I die if someone came in with a gun? What? What? That child is going to grow up and hear this one day. Okay.
Like, bro, I'm not gonna judge you for whatever intrusive thoughts you have, but you don't tell people that.
Get the fuck out of here. What the hell, Bradley Cooper?
You
But
tell
yeah,
your therapist.
Matt Riddle seemed to have the same issue here. It's just oversharing. And so finally tonight,
I don't think. I bet Matt Riddle is the kind of guy who thinks he needs one.
I mean, I'm sure he thought like, this is cool. This guy's cool. He's just asking me. But like, no, dude, it's a fucking interview. They're using you. Please don't. Please be smarter. But I guess finally tonight in a really sad back-to-back thing, we lose a legend in Virgil and we lose Ole Anderson. So it's
That seemed pointed.
It was so the
Go for it.
I don't want to harp on anything because everybody has family members and everybody's family loves them. So I'm not gonna be like, fuck this guy or fuck that guy. Yeah. It didn't slight me personally, so I'm not gonna go crazy about it. Like, if I had a personal story, then I'd be like, fuck him. I don't care if he died, but I don't. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Somebody sent me some piece of information that was very stressing.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's fucking rough. Virgil, the end of his life, was a little stressful. He had dementia, and it was an issue, and people had
Did he?
spoken out. He did. And
I didn't know that actually.
yeah, people kind of spoke out and said, he's in rough shape and passed away at the age of 61. It's he had an interesting life, man. He's Virgil Vincent, the meat sauce daddy. There's so many interesting stories about him in the later part of his career, though. Like just the way he handled himself in the world of wrestling. He was just a complete goofball, and most people have good stories to tell about Virgil, even though he was like a complete hustler. Fucking get you for any dollar he can. But it's like
Well,
that was part of the charm.
There's got to be something to be said about like being publicly mocked for like one of the more embarrassing photos that can ever be published of you, and learning how to turn that into cash.
Yeah, absolutely. I never let go of it either. He's just like, this is me. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
We we got this. Yes, I'll miss the joke because I don't feel right making that joke anymore. Now he's gone. Now we have to really look at him the way he was, and he was a really good. He was a really fun person to have in the pro wrestling business. Especially like in a world where like the GCW spring break kind of shows exist, because you always get like a weird Virgil versus Will Ospreay, like some wild ass shit that doesn't make sense. It's absolutely hilarious to see. I'll miss
Was
that
he
kind of
still
stuff.
wrestling?
I think he had like I said, he had the dementia, so I think that was already over. But
Okay.
again, it was I'll miss him. Then you have Ole Anderson, who famously he was the voice of Shockmaster. Was the voice of the
Yes.
Black Scorpion. Same voice. They like literally the same voice. They didn't change anything about it. And they
Yeah.
tag team with Arn, his quote unquote, was it brother, his cousin? Was his cousin first and then brother?
I think it was brother. I don't remember. The only thing I'm remembering from Cornette was I think he said Gene was the only actual Anderson and the rest were made up.
Gene. I been watching too much
Because it was
X-Men
Ole
lately.
and Gene.
Ole and Gene, but Ole was on the original Horseman, and that's when he tagged with Arn, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He was also an original Horseman, which I didn't mention. But yeah, rest in peace to them both. That's pretty much us this week, though. We talked about everything we can, and we almost went 3 hours, so that's something. We did it twice this week. It's been a while since we've we've naturally ended up here. But we got the Major Issues podcast tomorrow. They are talking about, is it 8 Billion Genies, the comic book from I want to say Image, but I know it's a creator-owned book, and I don't know which company it came out of. But 8 Billion Genies, and they'll be reviewing that tomorrow, as well as the Dolphin Pod podcasts, which you can find everywhere on the everywhere podcasts are found. Just Google Dolphin Pod. They got the Revenge of the Countdown to Infinity, Countdown to Skywalker, Revenge of the Sequel, so much more. Check out the Dolphin Pod podcasts, and as well as I think that's everything besides our own Dirt Sheet Radio shows. Stream post-show rewinds immediately after every single major wrestling event of the week. That is up to 6 streams a week that we put out. We're basically a network. We have 6 days worth of content for you there every single day. Come hang out with the crew at Dirt Sheet Radio.
Isn't network like the national? Isn't network like the natural evolution of a radio?
I think you're right. I think we just
are we a Pokemon?
We've always been. So listen, thank you all for joining us. But again, you can catch us. Me personally, you can find me on this flagship show, and I pop in and out of the Monday and Tuesday shows as I direct them. I also direct the Wednesday show. Monday WWE Raw, Tuesday WWE NXT, Wednesday AEW Dynamite, Thursday TNA Impact, which I am not on. Friday WWE SmackDown, which I am also not on, but they are still incredible live stream post shows with a lot of poignant and intelligent conversation. discourse. That's a better word for
Yeah.
it, but I feel like it's been taken by Twitter. I don't like it anymore. So
Maybe, yeah.
be sure to check. Catch us every day.
You may have to put all of that on your resume someday.
Someday. I mean, it's resume worthy, I think. As it get better, like we have content now. We have new content coming very soon. I also congratulations to our Monday and Tuesday host Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, who's going to be getting married today. Congratulations.
Hey!
Mazel tov. But yeah, man,
Yes.
that is us for the week. And thank you all for joining us. We will see you when we see you.